grand finals, and one player I have got to know really well is Trav Baird.
Yep.
And sometimes he's switched on, sometimes he's not.
Yeah.
Just look at him warming up today. He's switched on today, so I'd be expecting a big game from Trav Baird today.
They'll need a big game from him, Cameron, because with his brother missing, it's certainly going to make it very, very tough for the midfield. Here's Cam Power to get us underway in this first semi-final. It's the Battle of the Bulldogs. It's Golden Square and Gisborne.
And he goes Fresh FM. We're doing it for our communities. Gisborne just went a little bit of a slap ball forward. Jake Thrum was under it. He was tackled to ground and he got collected high. So the first free kick and first kick of the game will go the way of the Golden Square Bulldogs. It's Jake Thrum, plays on quickly, sends it towards the grandstand side wing, finds Tracy. Tracy then sends it down towards half forward. Battling down there was Brimsmead. Bulldogs are able to clear. That's the Gisborne Bulldogs. Crosby's got it. Fed off a handball. Then they come down the grandstand side wing towards McKenna. Eaton edged him under it, but McKenna did well. Fed off a handball. They go inside forward 50 now. That was from Bell Bartels. Into the pocket it goes. Down there is Thomas Wood. He worked his opponent beautifully, then kicked the wrong side of the ball. And he was running towards the scoreboard side of the ground. He almost had to try and check side it, and he miscued the kick completely. It goes out of bounds on the full underneath the scoreboard, where Zach Shelton will bring the ball back into play for Golden Square.
He just got the fat side, didn't he, Dale? Instead of getting the near side, he got the fat side. So it went out of bounds on the full. The ball worked back towards half-back. The big man, Compston, takes the mark, settles and drives long towards the swimming pool wing. Now there's a bit of pushing and shoving. Golden Square player in Morecambe took the mark. I thought I heard a whistle, but the umpire said play on, kick long. Underneath it, that's a good grab by Burke. Got the long sleeves on, gets Golden Square deep into attack, but he just overkicked the footy a bit, and Gisborne will run off half-back with a clean disposal out of defensive 50.
Goes down towards Jake Canolan, who is holding John Coe of Golden Square, so John Coe receives the free kick. John Coe then sends a high ball. It's just going to fall short of the 50. Big fly and mark taken for Golden Square. That was Braden Vaz. Then Vaz chips into the pocket nicely, and the mark is taken on the chest for Golden Square. And they will line themselves up for goal. 35 metres out, but it is going to be a tough kick from there. It's Sam Brimsmead.
He was good last week, Vaz, wasn't he? Against the Dragons. He got a fair bit of it.
Braden Vaz, he was very cool and calm with his shots for goals. He kicked a couple of clutch goals in the last quarter. So Sam Brimsmead for the first goal of the game for Golden Square. Released the ball from about 35 out, but he is in the left-hand forward pocket on the right foot, and he's miscued it. And the first score of the game is a minor to Golden Square, so they're one behind. Gisborne yet to score. 2 minutes gone in the first quarter, thanks to Aussie Disposals.
So, early going, heavy conditions. Walsh brings it in for Gisborne. Finds his teammate in Walsh. And he goes short. That's okay. Mark taken. There might be Banaki out there at half-back.
Yep.
He's going to bring the ball down the line towards the main grandstand wing. Good spoil by the Golden Square defenders. Big pack around this footy. Captain Jack goes to ground. He's contending with a couple of Gisborne opponents. The umpire said it's not coming out. I'll toss it up. True wing broadcast side. We're 3 minutes into the opener. Golden Square one behind. Gisborne yet to score, thanks to Aussie Disposals.
Compston won the hit down, but it was sharked by Mins. Mins fed off a handball. Now Gisborne can run. Thought about giving a handball there. That was Banaki, but he kicks it inside forward 50. Diving McKenna. Couldn't quite take the mark. Eaton's down there. He'll be able to clear it out of defence, and they'll clear it out. It's not a great kick out. And we'll get it thrown back into play. Right in front of us here in our broadcast position, it's Golden Square and Gisborne. The first score of the game, Golden Square, 3.5 minutes gone in the first quarter.
Have you seen the early going, Dale?
So I just noticed Banaki seems to be getting quite a bit of it already for Gisborne. There, he's just got it again there now.
Gisborne trying to work it out of this stoppage. Might have been a high tackle on Goodyear, but he got the ball forward. Big defensive spoil by Golden Square. Tracy, did he have the ball? The umpire said play on. It spills out for the Gisborne Bulldogs. They get a quick kick through Mins, but he's pushed as he got boot to ball. Went out of bounds on the full. We'll have a free kick to Golden Square, deep in the back pocket. 4 minutes, opening quarter. Golden Square one behind. Gisborne yet to open their account as the rain continues to fall, Cameron.
The rain does continue to fall. I think, as Dale mentioned before, it might be settled in for the afternoon. Thrum brings the ball back into play, goes down the grandstand side wing. Vaz will get a fly at it, punched away from Gisborne's Liam Spear. Spills to ground. Young Jenkin in the senior side for his first senior final, and he's burrowed across the boundary line. Will get a throw in. There is a few young Golden Square players out there. Zach Shelton, Alex Jenkins, both on the young side of 20, Ronnie.
Right. I can't even remember when I was alongside of 20, Cameron. Throw in. Compston at the back. Might have got the best of that. The Bulldogs, that's the Gisborne Bulldogs. Doolan, kick smothered. Golden Square, bring the ball through the middle of the ground. That was Jenkins, who got boots the ball, bounces at the half forward. Burke took it on the bounce cleverly, put it on his left foot towards full forward. Baird comes out, can't hold the mark. It was well spoilt. The Bulldogs, the Gisborne Bulldogs, have the numbers in defence. I get a hurried kick out wide. Will it stay in play? It does. It's at half forward for Golden Square, but Gisborne have got control of the footy. Quick toe poke out of defence, and they're out to the wing.
They are, but it's John Coe of Golden Square who takes possession of the ball, kicks it hard up against the boundary line, and will get it thrown in on the far side of the ground.
Very tough conditions, Dale, both for the players and the umpires this afternoon.
Yes, Ron, I'm quite comfortable just sitting in here watching it today.
The ball thrown in, not much of a line over there for the barbecue tent, that's for sure. Ball thrown into play at the bottom of the pack, trying to squeeze out a handball. Big Matt Compston went to ground. Into the middle of the ground. It's a soccer kick forward for Gisborne. Not a bad result. It bounces inside forward 50. Eaton's got it, but he's pounced upon by McKenna. Eaton just got rid of the handball.
Held on to him too long.
And then Pat McKenna held on to him for too long. As you said, free kick will go the way of Brad Eaton of Golden Square.
So the big fella has it at defensive 50. Golden Square are a point. Gisborne yet to score, although Gisborne have had the ball inside their 50 a number of times. Golden Square around the outer side. Geary receives the footy. And the player who got it to him was Shelton. Now, there's a whistle, is there? No. Play goes on. The give and go. They're sharing it on the outer wing. Player with the footy was Morecambe, but had his handball knocked down. The ball went out of play. True wing, outer side of the ground, swimming pool side. Golden Square one behind. Gisborne yet to score. With thanks to Priority One Property.
Will be thrown back into play on the far side of the QEO, which will be the pool side here. Into play. Compston won it down. Feeding out a handball that came from Lowry, but it was partially smothered by a Gisborne opponent. A lot of players around the ball. Lowry got it. Fed a handball backwards. It'll be picked up for Golden Square. They'll chase it hard. That's Humphrey. And Coe gets it, sends it down the wing.
He did that well.
And a defensive mark will be taken for the Bulldogs.
Canolan, is it?
Puppy Canolan on the far side of the ground. He sends it back down the line.
No, it wasn't Canolan.
But it doesn't quite carry. And John Coe couldn't quite take the mark, and it spills off hands out of bounds for a boundary throw in.
So I think we've got two of the best centre-half backs playing today, John Coe and James Ferry.
So, tough conditions. And not a lot of scoring going on. Tossed in. Compston had a second swipe at it. Gisborne player took it, pulled off his kick. Young's got it now. He'll drive Gisborne deep. Inside 50 to the top of the goal square. Good defensive work by the Golden Square Bulldogs, and it was Eaton who rushed it through for a behind, which ties it up. 8 minutes opening quarter, both Gisborne and Golden Square one behind apiece.
Should be brought back into play. Eaton has it for Golden Square. A bit of a rough season with injuries this year as Brad Eaton. He'll clear to the far side of the ground, and that's Clinton Young dropped the mark, and then he bent down to pick it up, and Draper was able to hold him up in the tackle. They feed out a handball, Golden Square. Now they've worked it up towards the wing. The speed of Jenkins tried to tap it forward, but the defensive Gisborne holds strong. They're able to fire a ball back inside forward 50. McKenna was facing the wrong direction. Might have been some holding. Spills to ground. In there's Tracy. Tracy picked it up, and he was taking the ground in a strong tackle. Will get a ball up. That tackler was Jake Canolan. That was a strong tackle. Tackling strong in this one early, Ronnie.
Absolutely, it's tough. Hard in tight. Quick kick forward by Grabham. Did he find a teammate? He did on the bounce. They've worked it into the forward pocket. Gisborne, a high ball to the top of the goal square. They set themselves. McKenna was running with the flight off the pack. Almost snapped a goal by Grabham, but he had his kick smothered, and it went high and through for a rush behind. Gisborne 2 behind. Golden Square 1 behind. 9 minutes into the first term, with thanks to Holden Colorado at Poyser Holden.
Eaton will bring the ball back into play again. This time he comes down the grandstand side wing. Flying high, Shelton couldn't quite take the mark. Spills to ground. Gisborne pick it up. Crosby tried to bustle the way through. Going in for square. Drew Barrett's down there. He couldn't quite take it. Ethan Minns has got hands on it, and they've got hands on him, and we'll have a ball up.
A lot of half chances, Dale, isn't there? That's, in those sort of conditions, sometimes you just got to have that little bit of luck.
Yeah, I think goals are going to be a premium today.
Thrown up, it's across half forward for Gisborne. Mins almost had it, butters up, goes back and gets it, forced to release the ball by hand in the tackle. Thrum's got it, but he can't keep it alive. It goes over the line, out of play. 60 around from the Gisborne attacking goal as they attack the city end in this first term.
Tell you what, Ronnie, if Ethan Mins gets some mud on his leg, you wouldn't notice.
No, he's got a bit of artwork there.
As long as it's his right leg.
Yeah, it's
Ball comes off. Gisborne will try and get it forward. Handball came out from Summerfield. He got it off. Graham, that's Sam Graham, sends it towards the top of the goal square. Here's a chance for Canolan. He'll fire on goal, and Canolan, Crummer's goal, first goal of the game to the Bulldogs from Gisborne. 10 minutes into the first quarter, it's taken Gisborne 1-2-8, Golden Square are behind. 10 minutes, 15 seconds played, first quarter. Finals footy, doing it for our community, thanks to Priority One Property.
Yep. Great goal by Conlon. You saw Patrick Trotter, good contest. The ball came down to the ground. Conlon was there, sweeped on it and put it through for their first
skillful
goal.
player, isn't he, Joe Canolan? His skills even in these conditions very good. Made no mistake, so valuable goal. They've had the ball forward a fair while, Dale, to get that goal.
Yes, they have had all the play, Gisborne.
So thrown up, still pouring rain here at the famous Queen Elizabeth Oval. From the stoppage, Gisborne get a handball, but it's intercepted by Thrum, but he's surrounded. Dragged down in the tackle. Handball comes out towards Scott Walsh, held up also. They go back after it. Again, Gisborne, this time through Crosby. Gets a hurried kick toward half forward. Bounces at the feet of his intended target. Big Co had it, but forced to release it quickly and it was cut off. Gisborne again have the numbers around the footy. It spills out towards Weaver. Gets a handball away. Can he put a teammate on the end of it? Well, he did, but he was held up. The umpire said he was held. So the free kick will go to Sam Graham. He's on the 50 for Gisborne, but in these conditions, it'll take a pretty good kick to travel the distance. Going to go in short, finds his target, and the mark is taken by Crosby. All we need is Nash and Young, and we have them all. That's a joke that you wouldn't understand, Cameron.
I get it, Ron.
I got on your darm. So, Trent Crosby, can he get the trip? He kicks from 45. Nice looking drop punt. Hit the post, I think. I think it just grazed the post on the way through. Goal umpire says you're right. 1-3-9 Gisborne. Golden Square one behind. 12 minutes into the first term.
Yeah, Golden Square have brought the ball back into play quickly, and it was chopped off by Sam Graham. He'll send it back inside forward 50 for Gisborne. It carries right down towards the line. McKenna
mark,
took the mark hard up against the boundary, and it's been paid. So Paddy McKenna will have to do a little bit better than his teammate did and possibly not hit the wrong side of the ball. He'll line up from just underneath the scoreboard, Dale.
Yeah, a very difficult angle. He'll come out, he'll play on. Jack Geary's about 10 metres away, ready for the play on call.
So McKenna comes around. He didn't have to play on all that much, and he striked it sweetly. And the Gisborne Bulldogs got a fast start here in the Battle of the Dogs in the elimination final. And they move to 2-3-15 Gisborne, one behind Golden Square, 13 gone first quarter. Finals footy, doing it for our community, thanks to Aussie Disposals.
So I'm wondering whether Pat McKenna might be a bit quick for Brad Eaton today on this surface.
They just seem to be handling the conditions a bit better at the moment, Gisborne.
Well,
There's a lot of players around the ball.
They would be used to it just being from Gisborne.
Yes. Well, they don't call it the graveyard for nothing, do they?
No.
So it's
No.
very wet and cold and miserable often down there, and they're handling these conditions really well. But they're getting more numbers to the footy, I reckon, and their use of the ball is better at the moment than Golden Square. So the Golden Square Bulldogs need to sort of respond here. Up in the ruck, Lynch, beaten though by Compston, the ball to ground. Chance for Thrum as it spilled out. Got a little half-distance kick to it, but it'll be cut off at half-back. Scott Walsh has it for the Gisborne Bulldogs. Bit of a dangerous kick, but it'll be all right. Mark taken by Baker. He's going to bring it towards the wing. Target here is Crosby again. Couldn't take the mark. The ball off hands, out of bounds in front of the main grandstand here at the famous Queen Elizabeth Oval. Gisborne 2-3-15. The rain still tumbles down. Golden Square one behind. And we have travelled 14 minutes into the opening quarter, and that is thanks to Aussie Disposals.
Yeah, the throw-ins absolutely cleared the pack, and it's gone right out the back, and Golden Square have got an advantage. They'll send it towards centre-half forward, but Gisborne will just send a soccer ball off the ground, into the middle of the ground. Shelton got it, ran into trouble, just got a handball out in time. Gisborne then picked it up. That was Summerfield. Doolan was in there, and Gisborne had possession of the ball. Tackle's been made, and holding the ball is the decision, and it goes the way of Dean Norris.
One of the two inclusions, Cameron.
Yep, one of the two inclusions as Dean Norris sends it down towards
Oh,
centre-half
great
forward.
mark.
Strong leading mark taken
That
by
was
Jaden
terrific
Burke.
hands in these
He's
conditions.
55 from home. He wheels, sends it towards the top of the goal square. Big fly from Trav Baird. Couldn't quite take the mark.
Oh.
It spills to ground. Pack of players all around it. Baird bounced up to his feet quickly. Jenkins dives in for Golden Square. But Gisborne have got enough players to force a contest, and the umpire says we'll ball it up.
14-point lead to the Gisborne Bulldogs. Although it's in Golden Square's forward line. Tossed up only 30 from their goal. Compston got first hand on it. Good tackling. Kicked off the deck. That was by Hartley. They work it towards goal, Golden Square, but the defenders are on the spot for Gisborne. They rush it through. 2-3, 15 Gisborne. Golden Square now 2 behind. 15 into the opener. Thanks to Priority One Property.
I reckon the rain's its heaviest that it has been so
it
far.
is pouring.
Gisborne have worked out a long ball using that strong breeze to their advantage. They've got it past the centre circle. They're almost inside forward 50. Eaton got it for Golden Square, spun around, sent it down the line looking for Donegan. Donegan got some front on contact, so he receives the free kick. True centre wing position here, far side of the ground. They trail by 13 points, Golden Square. He goes short to a teammate who takes the mark. It's in the hands of Liam Barrett. Barrett then wheels it inside
Burke.
forward 50. Burke flies again. Couldn't quite take the mark. It spills to ground. Gisborne have got the numbers at the drop of the ball. They cough a little handball out that almost favoured Jenkins. He's the other of those two inclusions. He couldn't quite take it cleanly. Ball spills to the bottom of the pack. Umpire's going to let him play, try and sort it out. It's still butting around at the bottom of the pack. Eventually it spills out. Still mass pack of players around this footy.
Did it go out of bounds or not? I think it did.
I don't know, the sign blew up in front of me. I couldn't see it.
No, it's a ball up.
It's a ball up, so it's across half forward for Golden Square. The ball to the back, picked up by Scott Walsh, had a bit of it early, but his kick, not the best. Out of bounds on the full, there'll be a free kick to Golden Square across half forward.
I think that
outside.
just shows how strong this breeze out here is, really favouring towards the city end of the ground here. Golden Square, they bring the ball back into play. They send it inside forward 50. It comes off hands. A handball it out of trouble in the hands of Baker for Gisborne, and he is just a little dribble kick, and he's happy to find touch as if he was playing a game of rugby.
I got a mate, Cameron, and when his kids were young, if it was raining like this, he'd send them outside with a couple of hand towels and tell them to wash the car out in the rain, because he said he couldn't afford the water to wash the car, so he'd send them out in the rain. Is that child abuse, Dale?
It's heavy enough, the rain, though, at the moment, to
Certainly
do that.
is.
Gisborne have got it. They're into the middle of the ground. They handball their way out of trouble. Golden Square have come. Drew Barrett came to force a contest. Ball hard up against the boundary line. They're still hugging the boundary line here. A little kick forward from Golden Square comes off hands and will get it thrown in about 80 out from home.
It's interesting that they got the red ball, the lights are on, and players, their captains do get a choice, whether it's the red or the yellow ball. They've obviously chosen the red ball for today.
Compston and Lynch in the ruck, down to ground. Quick kick forward by Jenkins of Golden Square and towards the forward pocket. Is that a mark? No. Everything's pretty difficult as the rain continues to pour down. As a Golden Square player over the ball, but he's surrounded. Umpire said, I'll toss it up.
This may sound silly, Dale, but would you reckon the yellow ball has something to do with maybe Golden Square wearing yellow at all? Or
I wouldn't think so. No.
So knock forward for Square into the forward pocket. Gisborne defenders do okay, although Baker, that was quite funny. Probably hurt him too because he lost his footing at the vital moment. They've fed it defensively though, and they'll get a clearing kick, this time through Banaki.
Yep, McKenna was strong, couldn't quite take the mark though. Eaton fed out a handball. Going after it'll be Jake Canolan. Good defence came from Golden Square. One of those players in there was Brad Eaton. Ball's in centre wing position. Gisborne just spend a little toe pokey ball up towards the top of 50. Players slipping and sliding everywhere. That's Daniel Weaver that's got it. He feds out a handball. It comes
Ronnie
inside
up.
from Canolan. This is a good chance for Gisborne. It bounces. Will it set steadily? It will. It's picked up. It's fired on goal from Casey Summerfield, and Gisborne have got their third goal.
So Casey was 20 metres in the clear, then just had to run onto it, and as soon as he grabbed it, it was going to be a certain goal from only from about 20, 25 metres out.
Mins was doing a bit of hard work across half 40. Just got that half distance kick, and away they went.
So that takes the score to Gisborne 3-3-21. Golden Square 2 behind. We've nearly ticked over 20 minutes in the first quarter. Finals footy, we're doing it for our community. Thanks to Holden, Colorado at Poyser Holden.
They're really on top at the moment, Dale, Gisborne.
Oh, yes. Whether it's the wind or not, we don't know.
Tossed up, Neither ruckman really got a hand on it in the middle. Compton tries to get a second swipe at it. Geary tries to work it forward. Coming in for Golden Square was Brinsmead. He was tackled, lost the footy. Its ball spills now. Quick handball comes out to Barrett. Got a high ball towards the 50 and a terrific mark defensively. I reckon it's Ryan Baker again, is it, boys, with the footy?
Yes.
And he spreads the ball wide out towards Young.
It bounces in towards Clinton Young. Couldn't quite trap the ball. Callum Draper comes in and makes the pressure. And Callum Draper kicked the ceiling goal last week. A really nice goal where he had to banana one through to get Golden Square through to this game against Sandhurst.
Gisborne's defence, Dale's really on top at the moment, isn't it?
Yes, yep. So Baker and Ferry are both going very well.
Ball thrown back into play. Compton won it forward. Golden Square able to soccer a ball inside forward 50 off the ground, but Gisborne can handball their way to Spear. He was under pressure. It's picked up by Morecambe. Tried to spin out of the tackle. Sent it towards the goal square. It almost fell for Burke. He fends off a tackle from the top of the goal square. Jaden Burke around the body's got it.
Jaden's had a great start to this game, taking strong marks, is playing as if it's a dry weather game. So that's his first goal and Square's first goal. So
that takes Golden Square to 1-8. Gisborne 3-3-21. We're 20 minutes gone in the first quarter, thanks to Holden Colorado at Poyser Holden.
Well, a badly needed one, Dale, you'd have to say, after Gisborne had all the early running.
Oh, for sure. And Golden Square will be very happy they got the first one on the ball.
So the umpire wastes no time. Compton got a big hand on that. Trav Baird got a handball, missed the target. Mins gets a hurry kick back towards the middle of the ground for Gisborne. Compton, bit of volleyball, knocks it forward. Cut off though by Spear. He got a kick forward for Gisborne, but at half back it's Barrett. Oh, his kick smothered. And now they've got a problem as it's kicked off the deck. Good chance here for McKenna. Open goal beckons. He's just got to pick it up. He does. And slams it through for his second goal. So a defensive error, and all of a sudden Gisborne made them pay. 4-3-27 Gisborne. Golden Square 1-8, 22 into the first. Finals football, Bendigo's Fresh FM, doing it for our community, and that was a terrific goal.
Yeah, and bad luck to Brad Eaton then. He was in the right spot, about 3 or 4 metres in front of his opponent, and Pat McKenna, and the ball just slid right past him unexpectedly.
So back into the middle we go. Joshua Grabham and Matt Compton. Two ruckmen do battle. Compton won it down towards Geary, but Geary was being heavily marked. Handball came out from Gisborne. It found its way to Ethan Mins. Ethan Mins sent a ball that just went straight up in the air, and it's going to come back, and he's almost going to mark his own ball laying flat on the ground. Morecambe got it, fed out a handball towards Brinsmead. He couldn't quite control it. Morecambe's then tracing. It's picked up by Jenkin. He gave it to Morecambe. Morecambe into the pocket steadily, and Jaden Burke leads out and takes a strong mark. He is putting in some super leads in these conditions. You wouldn't think that a day like this would suit a full forward type player like Jaden Burke, but he's making it his own. So
Tough kick though, Cameron.
It is a very tough kick. He'll kick it from about 35 metres. About 10 metres in from the boundary in the left-hand forward pocket. Fires on goal.
Kick.
It comes back with the breeze. He went to celebration early.
Hit the post, Cameron.
Hit the post, so they move to 1-4-10 Golden Square. Gisborne a 4-3-27. We've played 24 minutes in the first quarter, thanks to Priority One Property.
So Tim Walsh will bring it in. Long ball for Gisborne out towards half-back. Ball beats all and sundry. Carries all the way back to Morecambe. He can't, in fact it was Jonathan Coe, he can't keep it alive. The ball's over the line and out of bounds. So it carried about 50, well almost 60 metres before it bounced out of play. Throw in on the wing, swimming pool side, Cameron.
Yeah, Grabham and Compton was probably a dead heat, but Gisborne are able to get it. They'll chip it into the middle of the ground, but it'll be a defensive mark for Callum Draper. Wants to come grandstand side. He's got Braden Vaz in all sorts of space. He must have just snuck on from the interchange bench there, Braden Vaz. He'll chip short to Tracy. In fact, he goes even shorter than Tracy. Couldn't quite take the mark, Golden Square, but he's going to receive a free kick, Ryan Hartley. So is that the get out of jail free card
they
there?
were away, weren't they? They had the numbers, Gisborne.
So Ryan Hartley sends the ball up towards the top of 50. Player diving and taking the mark right at the top of 50. That's Vaz. Braden Vaz has got it. He'll spin around on his right. Sends a high ball in towards the right forward pocket. Burke flew again. Couldn't quite take the mark.
Ferry.
And defensive marks taken by Gisborne for James Ferry.
He's only 30 from the goal he's defending. Late in the quarter, 24 gone. Gisborne have had the best of it. It's a pretty good kick and a lovely mark. taken for the Dogs. That's the Gisborne Dogs. Still at half back. Might have been Baker who brought the ball across the ground. Ferry again just drives it long. He was upended as he got boot to ball, and the umpire's having a good look at it. Did he pay it down the ground, Dale?
Yeah, he paid it down the ground. Too late.
So Goodyear,
There's another one.
Goodyear had the footy, and he was upended as well. And we've got another one down the ground.
I just don't know why you do that.
It was Drew Barrett that came in with the bump after he got rid of it.
The temper's a little frayed, but Clinton Young has the footy across half forward for Gisborne. Long inside 50. Is that a mark? No. He did everything but mark it, grab him. And they still keep it alive. It'll fall to Trent Crosby, who can have a snap touched right on the line. Good bit of defensive work by Golden Squares. Humphrey right on the goal line. 4-4-28 Gisborne. Golden Square 1-3-9. We've ticked over the 25-minute mark of this first semi-finals, first quarter.
So Golden Square a bit lucky then. 2 undisciplined pieces of play. Saw it from their forward line down to the back line.
Well, it set up a scoring opportunity, didn't it?
Yep.
So, no good.
Humphreys brought the ball back into play. Brimsmead couldn't control the mark, and it comes off hands and out of bounds for
And
a
after
throw-in.
what went on last week, Dale, you would have thought discipline might have been sort of on the agenda this week.
Yeah, I thought they'd be too scared after the tribunal's decisions during the week to do anything
they come
wrong.
down pretty hard, didn't they?
Yes,
So,
yeah.
So 50 out from home. Ball gets thrown up. Compton wins it down. Geary dives in. Just slaps it forward to Geary. Gisborne have got it though. They break their way out of a tackle. They send it towards the hot spot. The kick fell nicely. Gisborne have got a snap and another goal.
Great goal to Benaki there.
That's the 5th goal for the Gisborne Bulldogs. Bradley Benaki. 5-4-34 Gisborne. 1-3-9 Golden Square. And that is 26 minutes gone in the first quarter. Finals footy, doing it for our community, thanks to Priority One Property.
So he did that really well. He snapped and then just kept running straight off the bench.
Yes.
Didn't even slow down. Just kept running now, like they do in the AFL. They kick a goal. I don't really know why they do that. Sometimes I think get your confidence up, stay on the ground, but he's straight off the ground, Bradley Benaki.
So the rain has just eased for the moment, and thank goodness, although the ground very heavy. Ball knocked to ground by the Squares, big man Comston. Summerfield dragged down the tackle. Umpire said he didn't have control of the ball. Casey Summerfield, middle of the ground. Handball's off to a teammate who's run by. He kicks it forward. Spear, long, deep inside 50. No mark. All the numbers with Gisborne, although the player overran it at the last moment. Coe's kick smothered. The ball falls into a pack. Only 15 from Gisborne's goal, and we'll have a stoppage. 5-4-34 plays Golden Squares 1-3-9, so they're well in control, the Gisborne Bulldogs, as the ball's thrown up.
Ball thrown up. A lot of players around this footy. Gisborne try and handball their way forward to try and get a shot on goal. Ethan Minns is lurking for that handball out. They weren't able to get it. And Jack Geary's at the bottom of the pack, where you'll always find Captain Jack of Golden Square. Ball goes up. Compton went up uncontested, but he knocked it
Great
straight
snap.
to Gisborne's. And it's a firing shot from Matthew Goodyear. Back in the side this week, Matty Goodyear. Gisborne have got their 6th goal, and they have blown out to a 31-point lead late in the first quarter. 6-4-40 Gisborne, 1-3-9 Golden Square, 28 gone first quarter, thanks to Aussie Disposals.
Great ruck work by Gisborne. Knocked it straight to Matt Goodyear, who snapped truly. Great goal.
We had a one-sided final last night with the Storm far too strong for Eagle Hawk, and now at this stage, I know it's wet, I know it's early, but it's a big lead, almost quarter time, 31 points in favour of the Gisborne Bulldogs. Tossed up, they need to respond. Golden Square, grab him, trying to do his own roving work. Summerfield burrows in, Square get a handball out, hurried kick toward half forward, well defended by Gisborne. Going to ground was Morecambe, controlled the footy though, tried to get out a handball, or he might have been in the back of his opponent. Umpire let it go. Kicking it off the deck, Doolan got it out towards the wing for Gisborne, but it'll come back. Hartley, high ball, inside 50. Is that Burke again? Yeah. Jeez, he's been good in this opening quarter. Well, I thought the conditions were against him because he was reasonably quiet against Sandhurst. He was well held, but he's been on fire. He's the only focal point they've got up there. Already kicked the goal, the Golden Square's only goal. For his 2nd from 40, no, he's missed. Give him a big rap. And he'll put it
like
narrow. No, he
it?
didn't. 1-4-10, Golden Square, Gisborne 6-4-40, 29 minutes into the opening quarter, thanks to Priority One Property.
They bring in the short ball, Gisborne. They're in the South Bendigo poolside pocket here at the QEO. Change room side. They send it down towards the pool side of the ground. Off hands it goes, and over the boundary line will go for a throw in.
Yeah, a bit of shuffling the names on the magnetic board. I think Dale at quarter time for Golden Square.
I would think so.
Probably got to make some changes,
yes,
don't they?
Yep.
So ball gets thrown in. Grabham won the hit down, but the siren wins out there, and that is quarter time here at the QEO in the elimination final on a Sunday afternoon. It is Gisborne 6-4-40, Golden Square 1-4-10. It's a 30-point lead. That is quarter time. It's finals footy, Sunday afternoon elimination final here on Bendigo's Fresh FM. We're doing it for our community. Just waiting for the last few stragglers to get off the ground, and getting the second quarter underway will be Ron Rogers. It's the Bulldogs 6-4-40 leading Golden Square 1-4-10.
Let's see if Golden Square can respond here. Tossed up in the middle. Grabham might have had the best of that. Lays a tackle on his opponent as well. Captain Jack got a handball. Mins lays the tackle on the Golden Square player that received that footy. He just gets himself up off the deck, and that for Golden Square was Barrett, and the umpire restarts us. Tossed up. Geary kicked it off the deck, gained a bit of territory. Again, Gisborne this time booted off the deck out towards the wing. Leading in the race for the ball, that might have been Spear, and he was brought to ground. In fact, it was Goodyear. And the umpire said, throw it in. It's right in front of the main grandstand. Early going second term. No addition to the quarter time score. Gisborne off to a great start. They lead by 30 points.
Ball thrown back into play. Wanting it down for Gisborne. Coming forward. It was Grabham. Ball spills to ground. Gisborne can put their way through. Little kick forward. Bouncing towards the boundary line, and happy to see it across the boundary line will be Will Lee. The kick came from Sam Graham. And there is a bit of a mud patch developing right in front of where a lot of heavy traffic is, I guess, as players run on and off the ground. Ball get thrown back into play, almost in front of the Gisborne bench. Taking the ball out of rugby, Grabham. Spins around, sends it forward. Ball spilt towards the top of 50. Umpire says it's mine.
Humphrey doing the tackling, holding his Gisborne opponent up, so the umpire tosses it up. Knocked down by Compston, thumped forward, but taken and kicked forward for Gisborne by Rogers. High in towards the forward pocket, no mark taken. Gee, there's a big pack around. This is at the deck, and they all dive in on top of it. Umpire says, I'll stop you there, boys. Give it to me, and I'll throw it up 35 out from the Gisborne attacking goal as they go to the Barnard Street end in this second quarter.
They attack the Barnard Street end, as Ron mentioned, which is the left-hand side here at the QEO from our broadcast position. Clinton Young had it, couldn't quite control it. And it spills out. Compston will just soccer it off the ground to Draper. And Draper will kick down the grandstand side wing. Coming hard will be Burke. But getting back to knock the ball away for Gisborne will be the ruckman in Joshua Grabham, playing that kick behind the plate. And he'll knock it over for a boundary throw in. Not
the tallest ruckman in the comp, but he's pretty mobile, isn't he, Grabham? He gets around the ground pretty well, Dale.
Yeah, he does. And he's against Matt Compston, who's also not one of the tallest. But rarely do I see Matt Compston beaten.
To throw in, they'll go at it, those two again. The ball knocked down towards Mins. Well, he had it. It's like a bit of soap at the moment. He couldn't quite get a clean disposal. Vaz gets it out for Golden Square. Releases Jack Geary. He drives up towards Baird on the bounce. Coming with him to offer defence is Walsh. He did okay, Baird, and he kicks it off the ground, but can't find the major opening that goes through for a behind. So the margin back to 29. Gisborne 6-4-40. Golden Square 1-5-11. 3 minutes into the second term, thanks to Holden Colorado at Poyser Holden.
The Gisborne waste no time bringing the ball back into play. And they've worked it underneath the scoreboard, have the Bulldogs. They'll send it high down the wing. Pool side here at the QEO. No one able to take the mark. In hands on it for Gisborne was Benaki. He was tackled. And the umpire says we'll ball it up.
And the sun's going to come out in a minute, Cameron. That's exciting.
Yeah, the crowd's just kind of emerged. Didn't look like much of a crowd while the rain was happening. It must have been all up in the grandstand, but they've slowly made their way back out. And looks like a fairly good crowd in this afternoon in trying conditions.
They tried to get to the cafeteria before you took all the food. That's what it was.
So the Gisborne supporters obviously down. All three of their sides in today. They haven't had any luck yet, Gisborne. Can they get the one that they've all been looking for, the senior win? Ball goes off hands and out of bounds for a throw in. So it's never a good thing if you go out in straight set stale, which is what Gisborne are trying to avoid today.
Yeah, yep.
Of course, the winner will play Eagle Hawk in a preliminary final next week after the Storm really had a big win over Eagle Hawk last night and made their way through to the grand final. Young was there with Jack Geary. Neither one can keep the ball alive. It rolls over the line and out of bounds. The boundary umpires are working overtime, Dale. They'll sleep well tonight.
They will. They've got a big job to do. They run a lot more than the central umpires.
Tossed in. The ball to the back. Compston. In fact, for Golden Square, it was Barrett who got a little toe poke to it. Ball spills back to Grabham of Gisborne. Now there's a whistle. It's a high free kick. And it's going to go to the Bulldogs. And Grabham is going to take that free kick. Looking to hand the ball off. Does so. Gets it off to Baker. Up towards the wing. Big spoil for Golden Square. Big defender spoil there. Might have been Coe, I reckon, and the ball's out of play. We'll have a throw in. True wing, swimming pool side. 6-4-40 Gisborne. Golden Square 1-5-11. Almost 5 minutes into this second term after Gisborne kicked 6 goals in the opening quarter, Cameron.
They did. They had the breeze going their way, but I'm not sure it's a 6-goal breeze. Can Golden Square respond? Knocked down. Clinton Young will get it from the clearance and send it towards centre half forward. And he finds a player that takes the mark. That was McKenna. Had it knocked out of his hands on the way through. Umpire said it was accidental play on. He spears it into the pocket. Couldn't quite get a teammate on the lead. It bounced up to him. Jack Geary's got it for Golden Square. Almost handballed it to himself, did Captain Jack. Spills to ground. Big pack of players diverge around the footy. Able to just knock it forward volleyball style. Will Lee came through. They're hard up against the boundary line. Poolside here at the QEO in front of the South Bendigo poolside change rooms. Gisborne have sent it out forward, and a defensive mark will be taken by Will Lee, who will look to calm things down for Golden Square.
Going to go all the way back to his defensive goal square. Ball is with Coe. Can kick it wide. It's got a player that's made good space. Brinsmead. Hard up on the boundary at half back. Main grandstand side. He's kicked toward the wing. He wants Burke. He's well spoiled. Gisborne's Rogers might have been tackled without it. The umpire let him play. Minns spears out of the pack. Drives it back inside 50. That's a terrific mark. John Coe again. And that is a wonderful defensive effort, and he clears the ball for Golden Square.
Here's it across to Jack Geary, who's pounced upon by Clinton Young. Ball spills. Umpire says he didn't have any prior opportunity, so we'll ball it up. And Dale mentioned before, Ronnie, that John Coe is one of the best halfbacks in the competition, and he's certainly doing a very good role this afternoon. Ball goes up. Neither ruckman got a hand on it. It's sent forward for Gisborne. It's taken at the top of the square. That was Bell Bartels. Must have come off hands because he was quick to play on, snaps around the body and kicks a minor score. So they move to 6-5-41 Gisborne. Golden Square 1-5-11. We've played 6 minutes in the second quarter, thanks to Holden Colorado at Poyser Holden.
Mitch Tracy will bring it in for Golden Square. Going to go to the swimming pool side of the ground. Brinsmead. Well, we got it on the bounce. He couldn't control it and the ball went out of play. So it's 50 around from the Gisborne goal. The rain has cleared, although the ground very heavy, Cameron, as your boundary umpire is going to toss it in.
Far side of the ground here at QEO. Compston probably got best hands on that for Golden Square. It spills to ground. Geary got it, and he handballed it to a Gisborne player. They can get it. It's sent high inside forward 50. Might have been McKenna that threw it inside. Defensive mark will be taken. And that is John Coe again. What a terrific game he's having, John Coe. He's got some options on the grandstand side. One of those is Eaton. Eaton takes the mark. Looking to slow things down and try and work their way out of defence.
Well, they're having a bit of trouble getting the ball clear of their defensive area, aren't they, Dale?
Yeah, for a team that's got the wind, Golden Square are not making good use of it at the
He's
moment.
pointing for people to get across and eventually just sends it down the grandstand side wing, possibly to the most dangerous player in the competition. That's Paddy McKenna. He wheels it back inside forward for Gisborne. Just missed its intended target. Thrum's got some work to do. Ball comes out, handball over the top. Here's a chance for the Dogs. They'll kick one off the side of the boot. Dribbling through and missing will be Casey Summerfield. And through for another minor score. It might have even flicked the post. 6-6-42, plays 1-5-11. We've played 9 minutes in the second quarter, thanks to Aussie Disposals.
Jake Thrum will bring it in. I think Mitch Tracy got the tiptoe after his effort. So Thrum brings it in. Lovely long ball. Oh, mark dropped. I think that might have been by Coe. It's probably the first mistake he's made. And Gisborne will reload here. The handball comes to Benaki. Fires it into the forward pocket. Clinton Young's there. Makes path for his teammate. Unfortunately, the ball went out of play before they could get a clean disposal. Just very difficult conditions. The ball's very wet and slippery and it's rolled out of play. 35 around from the Gisborne goal. They lead by 31 points, 9 minutes into the second.
Had a lot of play in this quarter, but they haven't been able to find the goals. Ball comes off hands. Inside the pocket, they'll fire a shot out of the pack towards the top of the goal square. Going back, unable to take it. Eaton knocked the ball away from McKenna. Then Coe gets it. He sends it out of defence. It might go out of bounds on the full. It does. So that'll be a penalty. Free kick to go the way of the Dogs, just inside forward 50.
So we've just wrapped him up, and he's made two mistakes in the last 2 minutes.
The last one was probably fair enough. He was under a fair bit of pressure. But
he was.
That mark he dropped was probably one he'd like to have again.
Yep. So Scott Walsh has got the ball. Looks like he's going to fancy himself from there.
Now, when you're 5 up, Cameron, you can have a ping.
So Walsh comes in on the right, and it's swinging in the breeze. It's swinging in the breeze, and he's put it through.
Goal umpire did not move, went straight over his head.
Magnificent goal from Walsh, and Gisborne have moved to 7-6-48. Golden Square 1-5-11, and Gisborne just starting to put a good lead in the contest. 10 minutes played, second quarter. Finals footy, doing it for our community, thanks to Holden, Colorado, at Poyser Holden.
Well, I think with a team with the win, Golden Square, I think the ball has only been down into their forward 50 once this quarter. We're 10 minutes into the quarter, and it's only been down there once, so they're just not making use of the wind at the moment.
That's the voice of Dale Caldwell, who's well known in the umpiring fraternity. I won't hold that against him. We love our umpires, and we couldn't have the game without them. Tossed up in the middle, and it's good to get a different perspective today as well. Sick of listening to Jock Clark. So the ball... Sorry, Jock. I don't mean it. The ball's knocked out wide. Kick forward for Gisborne again. Sam Graham, inside 50. Canolan might have been dragged off the footy without it. I reckon he's going to get a free kick. So it will be a Gisborne ball. He's 55 from home, so he just sits it up to the hot spot. Lovely kick. Coming out and taking the mark is Thomas Wood. And he has a real chance here. He's 40 out, maybe 45 when he kicks directly in front. Has he got the leg, Cameron?
He's going to handball it off.
Handballs it off. Timothy Walsh, he lines up and goes toward goal. And McKenna's marked it, has he?
Yep.
Deep in the forward pocket.
They're coach killers when players can mark like that in the goal square. Well, it must have been in the goal square because the umpire's tending to go around on his mark.
It was just outside it, so he might go the check side here, or let's see what he decides to do. But he's only about 12 metres out.
Did a beautiful snap for goal up the other end, so let's see if he goes for that again.
McKenna already got 2 for Gisborne. Check side is a goal. McKenna's got 3, and they're putting a real gap in this at the moment, Gisborne. They go along to 8-6-54. Golden Square 1-5-11. We're almost 12 minutes into the second. Finals football, Bendigo's Fresh FM, doing it for our community.
So Pat McKenna looking very dangerous. Great goal up the other end of the ground, and that one to the check side one straight through the middle.
3 goals. Had a really good start to the game. Can they get back in it? They've got to make. Got to tell you what, they've got to get their hands on the pill and start getting something on the scoreboard, Cameron, because they're well off the pace at the moment.
That they are as we go into the middle of the ground. Going up, no one able to get a hand on out of the ruck. It spills out wide. They soccer it forward. Who can get it forward for Golden Square? Thrum's got it. Toe poke goes out of bounds.
Been all right, Sam Graham. He's had a pretty good start to the game for Gisborne. Out of side.
So a lot of the players then calling for deliberate out of bounds, but we rarely pay that one.
Yeah.
It has to be really
I don't
obvious.
like that rule unless it's really, really blatant.
Yeah.
That's how it's paid down here in the Bendigo Footy League. Ball went over the head of the 2 ruckmen again, favoured Gisborne. They'll fire it forward towards centre half forward. Coming out and taking possession will be McKenna. Tried to get a handball. Tracy got it for Golden Square. He had it. He didn't have it when he was tackled, so he'll receive a free kick. And they will look to attack now Golden Square.
Oh. Well, it wasn't that bad in the end, Cameron, but gee, I thought he made a bit of a meal of it early when he kicked it.
Might work out okay for Drew Barrett. Was able to get it on the run, sends it inside forward 50. Burt Kane couldn't quite take it. Jenkins got it. He fires on goal. Alex Jenkins, it bounces through. Terrific goal from the young fella for Golden Square. 1 against the play, and Golden Square get a much needed goal. 2-5-17. Gisborne 8-6-54. 13 and a half gone in the second quarter. Thanks to Holden, Colorado at Poyser Holden.
As you said, Cam, a much-needed goal, and let's hope Golden Square can perhaps get a few more to keep the game interesting.
Yeah, they need a flurry of 3 or 4, don't they, just to give themselves a little bit of a chance. Even though it's early in the game, they're a fair way off the pace.
Coach Clinton Young coming off the ground for Gisborne for a bit of a spell.
Lynch doing the ruck work. Compton got it down though. Handball comes out. Geary, long, Has it got enough on it? It's going to fall in the goal square, getting back. Good defensive mark taken by Ferry in his own defensive goal square, Cameron.
So James Ferry out of defence for Gisborne will chip it short. It's a dangerous chip. It almost landed in the hands of Brimsmead. And now Gisborne under all sorts of pressure. It's taken, it's fired back from Brimsmead. It bounces towards the goal line. It takes a bit of an awkward bounce and goes out of bounds for a throw in. That was a really poor kick in. And it put his teammate under all sorts of pressure. Now the boundary umpire will throw the ball back into play. Golden Square searching for back-to-back goals in the contest. 15 minutes about to be ticked over in the second. Ball comes down. Compston won it down. In there was Morecambe. He couldn't quite get it. Brimsmead tried to bustle away through. Was held up in the tackle and he dropped possession and he had it. He got tackled and dropped it. So it'll be a free kick going to Gisborne on the last line of defence.
Scott Walsh will take it. He's going to go short into the back pocket. That's okay. They'll bring it out through Timothy Walsh. He's kicked toward the outer side. Probably could have marked that ball, Will Lee, but in the end, probably not enough talk around him, and he just slapped it out of play. So a throw in, outer side, swimming pool side, just forward of the wing for Golden Square. But they are doing some attacking now, Cameron, which is good news.
They are doing some attacking. Can they get something going, though? No one able to get much of a possession on the far side of the ground. Umpires come in and the non-officiating umpires.
The trolling umpire didn't pay it or didn't see it?
Yeah, because John Norton was had a whole heap of players in front of him, so that's the advantage of having the three umpires on a different angle.
So Gisborne will receive the free kick, poolside wing here at the QEO. They send it down the line. Who can get on the end of it? Ball spilling down into the hands of Tracy, who's wrapped up as soon as he picked up the footy, and will have a ball up.
No, that was the umpires, I guess, work in unison like that, Dale, and that worked well on that occasion.
Yeah, that's why one of the reasons why we have three umpires for that.
Well, Gisborne have tried to handball the ball defensively. They made a bit of a meal of it. Crosby, he got it out wide. Ball still in dispute, though. It's cross half forward for Golden Square, swimming pool side. Benaki has the footy, but he's tackled and can't break clear, but no prior. Umpire will toss it up. Point of the centre square, outer side. Compston got a clean hand on that. Trying to work his way through for Golden Square was Hartley, but he was held up as well. We've got a stoppage.
Eaglehawk coach Travis Matheson just walking past the box. Of course, Eaglehawk will be playing the winner of this game next Saturday afternoon for the last spot in the grand final after they went down to Strathfield Say last night. Back here at the QEO, Gisborne have sent it forward. Coming off hands from Tom Wood, who can try and get clean possession from either side. It's been one of those days in wet weather footy, and we'll get a ball up on the far side wing here at the QEO. Pull side, Gisborne 8-6-54. They lead Golden Square 2-5-17. We've played 17 minutes in the second quarter, thanks to Priority One Property.
Compston, clean hand on it. Handballed forward for Golden Square by Morecambe. Tried to find a teammate. Can they work it out? Square, they got the numbers. Oh, Geary pushed in the back. The umpire spotted it. And Captain Jack will take it. The offender was Graham. So Geary, outer side wing. Golden Square just need another goal or two to tighten this up a bit before half time. His kick inside 50. Sport by the Gisborne defenders. Liam Rogers got a paw on it, knocked it out of play. Throw in. 35, maybe 40 around, maybe even a bit more than that from the Golden Square attacking goal, outer side of the ground.
Are you prepared to say we're not going to have any more rain, Dale?
No, not at all. It is a bit lighter, though, at the moment. It's good to see Square making good use of the wind now.
So umpire threw the ball back into play, and the whistle on play was to get a repeat boundary throw in. Just fell short of its intended target. Going up, winning the ball down for Gisborne. That was Jared Lynch. Gisborne able to fire a high ball out of defence, and it will go hard up against the boundary line. That's probably something that Gisborne have got an advantage today, Dale, is that Jared Lynch can do a pinch hit in the ruck, where you rely on Matt Compston to do a lot of the ruck work for Golden Square. He probably rucks 99.9% of the game.
Yeah, he does, and usually he can do it, but if he gets injured, Square were in trouble. But
tossed in. We're still on that outer side half forward line for Golden Square. Grab him, had a second slap at it. Jack Geary got in the way. Trying to work his way through for Golden Square was Hartley. Made a bit of a passage but couldn't find a teammate. She's a big pack around this. Eventually, Gisborne got a handball out. Taken by Liam Rogers. Hurries one down the wing. And guess what? It's out of play on that outer wing. So it's been trapped over on that side of the ground for the last 4 or 5 minutes. Gisborne 8-6-54. Golden Square 2-5-17. We're almost 19 minutes played in the second quarter with thanks to Aussie Disposals.
Ball thrown back into play, hits the ground. Little toe poking ball forward came from Hartley, was in the direction of Donegan. He couldn't control it. Now they'll fire away through. Vaz has got it. McGisbin have turned it over. Now they've got the numbers in the middle of the ground. They run in a wave. They send a high ball inside forward 50 that's not going to make it near its target. John Coe defensively takes the defensive mark for Golden Square. Quick to play on.
Oh, that's dangerous.
Sends it towards the pull side wing for Geary, but it's not a good kick. And his opposing player took the mark for Gisborne.
That's Benaki.
Bradley Benaki on the far side of the ground. He's had a superb year. He fires it high inside forward 50. Flying up, couldn't quite take the mark. That was Canolan. Ball spilt to ground. Where Gisborne have got the numbers at the drop of the ball.
Pushing the back end.
Free kick will go to Golden Square for a push in the back.
So, last line of defence almost. Tracy, Short, Eaton for Golden Square. He's only 30 from the goal. He's defending. Player out wide, makes good position. That's Barrett. Still in the back pocket though. Barrett needs to bring this ball long, although it was almost smothered as he got close to the man on the mark. Big spoil over the top, close to the boundary. It's not clear. We're going to throw in.
Let's go fresh around the grounds in the MCDFNL. It is Natty Bialaba. They are 6-5-41, leading Lexington 1 straight 6 at quarter time.
Thrown in on the wing. It's a very handy lead to Gisborne. They lead by 37 points.
Ball thrown back into play. Free kick's been found. It'll go the way of Gisborne. Golden Square. Morecambe's got it. He sends it down towards Brimsmead, but he's got a 2-on-1. The two Gisborne players collided with each other. Brimsmead, if he kept his feet, he could have been away. Vaz came through. Brimsmead fell over again. Just slipped over his own 2 feet twice, did Sam Brimsmead. Maybe he might need to try and check out the long stops at half time if he's got him in the kit bag. Over the boundary line, out of bounds, we'll throw it in 60 metres out from the Golden Square goal.
See if they can manufacture a scoring opportunity here, Golden Square. Thrown in. Rucks wrestle. And he got it down, but Benaki, Morecambe got it down, but Benaki took it. In fact, Compson, I should say, got it down. Benaki,
one-handed.
Clinton Young with the one arm, took the mark. Right in front of the main grandstand, there's one for the highlight reel. Held by one arm, took the mark with the other. His kick isn't great, though. He made it very hard for his teammate. It was a good spoil in the end, and the ball is over the line and out of play. Between wing and half forward for the Gisborne Bulldogs on the main broadcast side of the ground. It's a 37-point lead to Gisborne, and we've crossed the 21-minute mark.
Ball thrown back into play. And it's just hacked out of mid-air, out of the ruck, and out of bounds it goes. And we'll get it thrown in again. I didn't say who that was, but he didn't want to touch it with his hands. He thought I'll just kick it back to the boundary umpire. So we'll do it all again. We'll have a secondary boundary throw in.
So
Jared Lynch is still rucking. I'm just wondering if Joshua Grabham is off having a spell, or why Jared Lynch has been doing a lot of the ruck work in the last probably 10 minutes of the game.
That's quite common for Gisborne to do that.
Quite common for
I
Gisborne.
was going to say, Dale, for all their work, Golden Square, they've actually 7 points further behind than what they were at quarter time. So Gisborne really on top at the moment.
Voice of one of the best umpires in the Benny Umpire Association, Dale Caldwell. We're back in the middle of the ground. Golden Square have worked it forward. Jake Thrum was being held, receives the free kick. Wanted to give it quickly to Morecambe, decides against it, and then kicks it towards Captain Jack. He let it fly towards Trav Baird. Baird dropped the mark, but he had plenty of time to recover. Then fires the handball forward. Geary had to wait for it to roll to him. Then he steps in, sends it on the right towards the top of the goal square. Burke will fly high, just knocked away from him at the last second, but it falls to Jenkin for his second. He's kicked it through for a minor. A big build-up for nothing. 2-6-18 Golden Square. They trail it by an even 6 goals. Gisborne 8-6-54. We've played 23 minutes in the second quarter, thanks to Priority One Property.
So Burke got his hand to it, didn't he? I thought he was going to grab it, but just didn't stick.
Ronnie Rogers is off signing autographs for the crowd.
Well, you know, I'm big
saying
speed in this town, Cameron. Where's the footy going, Cameron?
Gisborne just doing a rotation. Who's going to bring the ball back into
I
play?
think they're waiting for someone to throw the ball back in.
Either way, Clinton Young's going to come and take the kick back into play for Gisborne.
Late in the second, 36-point lead to the Gisborne Bulldogs. Lovely ball by Young. Laces out. Finds his teammate, Baker. In towards the middle. No mark. Player trying to burst his way through for Golden Square. Putting in hard. Picked up by Morecambe. Kick smothered. Might have heard that in the effects, Mike. The ball comes back to him by hand. He just barrels it inside 50. The ball to the back. Chance for Thrum. Gets a good look. Hooks around the body. And he's missed. It's a behind.
Blown a few chances now.
Yeah, Jake Thrum would get that 9 times out of 10 on his left foot.
8-6-54 Gisborne. Golden Square now 2-7-19. 24 gone into the second thanks to Priority One Property.
Now Clinton Young will bring the ball back into play. This time he goes towards the pull side of the wing where he finds a teammate on the far side of the ground. James Ferry. So James Ferry has it. Has not much options breaking James Ferry. As he sends it down the line. Can he get a mark? It comes off hands. Hard up against the boundary line. Gisborne keep it alive. They fire a handball back to Crosby, who's able to send a little high ball. Barely went the required distance of 15 metres. Comes off hands. No one able to take the mark. Golden Square player was pounced upon. Umpire says we'll ball it up.
No, he paid the free cam in the end. And I think it was there. Dale?
Yes, yeah, I think he heard you, Ron.
Yeah.
So Golden Square will send a barreling ball inside forward 50. That's a good old-fashioned hooby-tooby, which is on the other side of the ground. Ball comes off hands. Braden Vaz picked up the footy and dropped it when he was tackled. That'll be holding the ball. Gisborne will get the free kick. And he's probably a little bit stiff. No prior opportunity, but it wasn't effective. He didn't kick it. He didn't handball it. So fair enough, Dale.
Yes, yep, it was the right decision.
So the ball is with Tim Walsh. He's going to go to that outer side. The ball spent a lot of time on the swimming pool side. The long kick, but it's not that accurate, unfortunately. He nearly hit a lady with a preem out there, I reckon. It went out of bounds on the full. I like my own work there, Dale. We'll have a free kick to Golden Square after the ball carried the line on the outer side.
It's good weather for Dim Sims, as our own John Hunter is enjoying one underneath the commentary box down there.
You talk a lot about other people talking, Cameron, but you do a fair bit of talking, eating yourself. Yeah.
Ball goes forward for Golden Square.
Speaking of which, I sent you over to get a pie and a pasty. You come back with a pie. What did you do? Eat the pasty on the way back?
They didn't have. Well, you caught me out red-handed. The old excuses they were out of pasties came into play.
Yeah, that's right. I didn't believe it for a minute.
So Grabham's back in the ruck for Gisborne.
So Grabham back in the ruck against Compton. Thanks, Dale, putting us back on track. Ball goes down the ground. Gisborne are able to send a ball off the pack, which makes its way up the line into the hands of Bell Bartels on the far side of the ground. Sends a high ball down the line. Coming from behind was Jared Lynch. Knocks the ball off hands and out of bounds for a boundary throw.
Tell them to kick it over this side of the ground. What are they doing out there? Too far. There you go. I'm looking at it. I've got the goggles, but you.
It's easier to see when it's on this side of the ground, isn't it?
Yeah, I tell you what, it's a long way away over there. Throw in, just forward of the wing for Gisborne. Ball to ground. Summerfield had it and lost it. Morecambe got a hurry kick back towards the middle of the ground. Well read though. That was a good mark, got to the fall of the ball. And it's a Gisborne ball. Defensive side of the centre to Baker. Jack Baker. Spears one. Lovely ball. Summerfield will mark on the juggle. Oh, the umpire said it was touched, was it, off the boot? So he's a bit unlucky. He queries the umpire and said, no, it was touched off the boot. So we've got a stoppage, Kevin. They're going to toss it up pretty much centre half forward for Gisborne.
I'm no worries, Johnny. I've got Ronnie. Sorry, I've got 20/20 vision, so it's all sorted for next year.
Good luck.
As the ball comes off hands,
So you're going another 30 years.
I'll give it another 6 months and I'll have 20/20 vision.
Oh, really?
Not even that. It'll be only 4
months. You're getting a bit of
months.
laser work done or something, are you?
No, 20/20.
Oh, I don't know what that means.
Ball off hands. Gisborne have got it.
If they can do something.
They'll have a bounce. It's dangerous because this is the
not
bounce
getting
like that,
shock
but it
treatment,
worked all right. It came back to him. Handball game to Clinton Young. Young sent it down towards McKenna. Came off hands. Gisborne fire a shot on goal. And that was Jared Lynch. And it's gone through for a minor. 2-7-19 plays 8-7-55, which means it's an even 36-point margin. 6 goals. 28 minutes gone, second quarter, thanks to Aussie Disposals.
So I've got 20/20 vision too, but a number of times people in the crowd seem to think otherwise.
Yes, I bet you get a fair bit of advice over the fence as Tracy brings it in for Golden Square. Now there's a whistle for a hold, and it looks like Burke is going to take it, who's well up the ground. He's at half back on that outer side, swimming pool side of the ground. He'll wind up and go as long as he can down the line. Gets it to the wing. The ball over the back of the pack. The target there was Drew Barrett. And over the line she goes. Throw in between wing and half forward. Or just forward of the wing, in fact, for Golden Square on the outer side.
Full-time score in the A-Res netball across the scoreboard there. Kangaroo Flat have defeated Eagle Hawk 33-21. So Eagle Hawk are gonzo in the A reserve
Tragedy.
Netball.
The ball knocked down. Banaki over the footy. Tackled by Morecambe. Got a handball out. Scrub forward for Gisborne. Didn't travel far, only about 15 metres. Golden Square get boot the ball. Out of bounds on the full, so it's still on that outer side, Cameron.
Isn't it good when they throw the netball scores up on the scoreboard over there?
I think they do it pretty regularly, don't they?
Oh, I've never noticed it.
Oh, really? How long have you been coming to Bendigo footy, Cameron?
Maybe I don't have 20/20 vision after all.
Maybe
As
you
Gisborne's
don't.
got possession on the far side of the ground. Pull side here. They'll send it down towards centre half forward. Flying out McKenna. Couldn't quite take the mark.
Vantage.
Ball spelled out the back, and Vantage paid for Gisborne. They fire it inside forward 50, and that should be a mark to Canolan. He juggled it, couldn't quite take it. It was picked up by Weaver. He was taken, lost possession of the ball. Great tackling, Golden Square on the last line, and they will be rewarded holding the ball, and they'll clear it across. It's a dangerous kick in the end, but it'll work its way wide, and Golden Square have got possession of the ball on line with the left-hand point post here at the QEO. South Bendigo, that is the South Bendigo Social Room's pocket as they send it down the line. Baird comes from behind the pack, couldn't quite take it. Ball spills at the bottom of the pack. Players diving in from it from both sets of teams. Hard to see where the ball is in these type of days. And eventually the umpire crosses his arms. Eventually they all get up like a bit of a Pyrenees pyramid. And we'll find out where the ball is. Right at the bottom, Ronnie.
Siren due any time. Gisborne lead by 36, almost half time. Thrum underneath all that has the footy, but he cannot escape.
30 minutes ticked over in the second quarter.
The ball on the wing, it's been all Gisborne. They led by 30 points at quarter time. They've extended that to 36 at this stage late in the second. Ball knocked down towards Benaki. He and Summerfield try and win the ball. Brought down in a pretty good tackle, but there's no prior opportunity. The umpire says, settle down, boys. I'm going to throw it up.
So 55 from home. We've ticked over 30 minutes in the I was going to say the first quarter, but it's the second. Summerfield got it. He sent it inside forward 50.
Oh, that's high.
Bell Bartels is down there. Umpire signals free
I wanted to
kick.
take up umpiring.
Yeah,
Dale.
yeah.
Hey, I'm pretty good, aren't I?
Yeah, you've been right all the time.
Yeah, no, I don't get it wrong very often, do I, Cameron?
That short pass to Tracy. I'm not sure that was 15 metres, Ronnie. They send it out, though. Baird couldn't quite take it on his chest. Coming in, Grabham's taking a strong
He's had a
mark
good
on his
first
chest.
half, I reckon.
He handballs it off Grabham. It's taken by Timothy Walsh. High ball. Who can get underneath it from either side? It spills to ground. Here's a chance for Gisborne. It's in the hands of Crosby. He worked himself. Sent it goal square. McKenna's got it. He able to drop the ball at his hands. Pick it up. Snap. Goal. 4 goals, Pat McKenna. And Gisborne get a big goal that Golden Square did not want to concede on the stroke of half-time. 9-7-61 plays Golden Square 2-7-19, a 42-point margin. We've played 31 minutes in the second quarter, thanks to Holden, Colorado, at Poyser Holden.
Great goal to Pat McKenna. He was outnumbered then, 2-1. The other two fell over, and he was able to recover quickly and snap truly for a great goal.
That was the key to it, wasn't it, Dale? He kept his feet.
Yep.
And 2 defenders lost theirs, and bang, she went through. Had a great first half. Tossed up, must be nearly half time. Gisborne tried to break out of the middle again through Goodyear. Couldn't quite get a clean disposal. Benaki picks it up, handballs off. It ends up with Spear. He goes around the body towards the outer wing. No mark by Lowry. He did everything but mark it. Didn't quite hold on to it. And then they all piling on top of him on the outer wing. The umpire says, give it to me. We have played 32 minutes of this second quarter, and Gisborne's lead is now 42 points.
It's a big lead. And that is half-time here at the Queen Elizabeth Oval. Gisborne 9-7-61. Golden Square 42 points behind, 2-7-19. It was a long quarter, that second quarter. But how did you see that first?
Couple of weeks.
Well,
I'm hard marker. Sorry, Cameron. We shouldn't say that. We shouldn't say that at half time, but Gisborne have been all over them. They've only managed 2 goals and a half of footy, although conditions have cleared, so it might be a bit easier to score in the second half.
conditions have cleared. The sun is out. The ice cream man's on his way out, though, surprisingly. 9-7-61 Gisborne, 2-7-19 Golden Square. Finals footy, doing it for our community. Here's Ron Rogers.
Oh, high tackle from the resumption. It'll be a free kick. That'll go to Trav Baird in the middle of the ground. Handballed off. Kicked by Hartley. Deep for Golden Square. No mark. Geary, front and square. Upended in the tackle. The ball's at half forward for Golden Square, but there's a massive throng of players around this. It's not coming out.
You mentioned the magnets possibly being moved, and already we see Trav Baird in the centre of the ground. Straight
Trying to
up.
get him into the game, Cameron.
Yeah, straight up in the second half. As we go up, Compston wins the hit down for Golden Square. It spills out. Battling hard in there as Drew Barrett wasn't able to fire anything forward. Ball spills to ground, and the umpire says we'll ball it up.
Pretty important, Dale. This first 10 minutes, if the Square can get a goal or two and get a bit of momentum, get themselves back into it, but if they don't, could be a long second half.
Could be.
So ball goes up again. It'll be cleared out of the congestion from Gisborne. They work it up towards Summerfield. It's knocked away from him. Fell into the hands of Jack Geary. Geary fed out a handball. Then he got towards Morecambe, who was completely pushed right underneath the ball. Spills to ground. No one able to get clean possession on it from either side. We'll have a ball up inside forward 50. So the umpire gets the ball back and throws it in the air. Compston and Grabham, probably a 50-50 hit down. Spills to ground. Ball comes out the back. It works its way forward. Draper almost got onto it. Then a Gisborne player picked it up. Tackled by Thrum. Lost the ball.
Yep, good
holding
decision.
the ball. Good start for Golden Square inside forward 50. And there's a bit of push and shove. Be careful, fellas. You don't want to get the decision overturned. And it's going to go the way of Jake Thrum, who can look to kick the first goal of the second half, which you would have said had to go to Golden Square. And this would be a big start to the second half if he can kick it.
It's Golden Square come out with a bit more spirit this quarter.
Yeah, agreed. Come out with a little bit of fire in the belly. Might have got a bit of a spray.
So Jake Thrum steps inside forward 50 on the left, and that is not a good result. It wasn't even close. In the end, it went straight through for a minor score. So the Square get the first score, but it's not the one they wanted. 2-8-20. Gisborne 9-7-61. It's a 41-point margin. 2 minutes gone in the third quarter. Thanks to Holden, Colorado at Poyser Holden.
Kick in mark by Goodyear. Back pocket for Gisborne. Long ball now. Almost to the wing. No mark. Bounced off a couple of players. Slew out of bounds. Throw in. It's again on that outer side of the ground.
So one thing I've noticed is that Golden Square are paying very close attention to Benaki.
Throw in. Just forward of the wing for Golden Square on the outer side.
Ball thrown into play. Gisborne able to knock the ball down. Player taken completely without the ball. Umpire spots it. It'll go the way of Gisborne. On the far side of the ground, the Gisborne Bulldogs have got it. Pull side here of the QEO.
Might be Bell Bartels, is it?
He sends it down the line. Unable to take the mark. Ball spills to ground. Now the reinforcements from Golden Square to take the ball over the boundary line come. And we'll get it thrown in on the far side of the ground.
It was a bit disappointing for Golden Square. He really needed to convert that chance. Thrum. The ball thrown on the wing. Compston, clean hand on it. Got it down. Kicked very high by Eaton. Almost up and down on the one spot. Thump forward for Golden Square. It's almost to their half forward line. But Gisborne win it off half back. The long kick up towards half forward. Terrific defensive mark taken by Coe, who stood up well for Golden Square this afternoon. Spread the ball wide out to Eaton, defensive side of the wing.
Eaton handballs to Morecambe, and they go down the pull side wing. Golden Square, Morecambe got it down towards Trav Baird,
that's probably
and Trav Baird's going to get a free kick.
Yeah, his opponent had no eyes for the ball, Dale.
No.
So Trav Baird has possession for Golden Square. We'll look to work it forward. Can they get the first goal of the second half? He goes short on the chest of a teammate who's got it centre half forward.
Is that your man, Vaz? It looks a bit
Braden
like him.
Vaz has got it. The nothing man, I think you were calling him during the
Well,
half
he just
time.
hasn't got any really distinguishing features. Tell him to get a tattoo or something, Cameron.
Braden Vaz from 50 loads up. It's a nice ball drop. Who can fly and take the mark? Burt come out, couldn't quite take it in the long sleeves. Ball hits the deck, and a mass pack of players dive on top of it. We'll get a ball up. And I'll say a pack of dogs.
Yeah, it is. There's a couple of packs of dogs out there. 41 points is the lead, enjoyed by Gisborne. But it's deep forward for Golden Square. Flying snap at goal is offline. Might have been Morecambe, I reckon, and it's a behind. Golden Square now 2-9-21. Trail Gisborne 9-7-61. We've travelled 5 minutes in the third term with thanks to Priority One Property.
So they'll bring the ball back into play, and they go the tube straight down the middle of the QEO, and it goes about 70 metres, but it lands in a Golden Square defender's arms. That's Zach Shelton. Shelton's got it on the right, sends it inside forward 50. Can he get a teammate to come on the end of it? Burt came out, led hard. Off hands Golden Square. Going through was Summerfield, knocked it to ground. And packs of dogs around the ball. Umpires plucked out a free kick, which is going to go the way of Golden Square for a hold. And it'll be taken at the top of the 50 by Ryan Hartley.
Golden Square have had all the play this quarter,
they
haven't they?
have, yep.
And it's against the wind. They're just going to need to convert.
So Ryan Hartley from 55 metres will load up for home. He's got it right towards the line. It's going to be coming off hands and out of bounds for a boundary throw-in.
Yeah, you're right, Dale. They've had the ball forward, but that miss by Thrum was probably the best opportunity they've had. But repeat entries, generally you get some sort of result. Ball will be thrown in deep in their forward pocket. Compton might have had the best of that. Thrum was there, but beaten to it by his opponent in Baker, who got boot to ball, but wasn't pretty, went out of bounds on the full. Free kick will come to Draper. He'll send the Square back inside 50.
That he will. Callum Draper's just got to wait for the young fella to get the ball back to him. That he does. Saves him having to jump the fence and go and get it himself.
Sun's out, Cameron.
Sun is out. Draper comes around onto the right. It's a high ball towards the top of the goal square. Big pack of players fly. It spills to Brimsmead. Brimsmead fires one that went 15 metres up in the air. Didn't go anywhere near the distance. Morecambe tried to do the Jackie Chan. Couldn't quite get a boot to it. Ball comes to Grant and we'll have a ball up on the top of the goal square. Can Golden Square get that first goal of the second half? They've only found 2 on the game so far. Ball comes down. Huge players from both sides around it. Not one player from either team in the defensive half of 50. Well, defensive half of the ground, I should say. Ball comes around. Umpire John Norton wraps his arms and says, I'll ball it up and we'll do it all again.
This is very difficult conditions for an umpire because you've got so many players, it's hard to see everything.
Nah, I'd agree with that. Tossed up. Clean possession. Compton dribbled it towards goal. It was kicked off the ground. Now there's a whistle. A kicking in danger. And it will go to Gisborne. And Summerfield looks like being the recipient of that free kick. Last line of defence for Gisborne. Delivers short. Good kick. Put it onto the chest of his teammate. And they'll just chip it out of defence. It ends up with Clinton Young. Turns onto that favoured left side. Delivers the ball well towards the wing. Lovely kick. And Gisborne controlling it around that outer side, Cameron.
So now they can go inside forward 50. It's a high ball, but it just kind of skewed in the air. John Coe, I'd love to see how many defensive marks he's taken. He kicked the ball straight into Pat McKenna, and they might just get out of trouble. Barrett's got it. He goes short, finds Tracy. Mitch Tracy's got it for Golden Square. Mitch Tracy will then chip it down the grandstand side wing. Dangerous ball for Burke. It favoured Gisborne. They were unable to take the mark. That was James Ferry, and James Ferry was being held, so he receives the free kick for Gisborne. It's against Jaden Burke.
This is where they don't want to concede one Golden Square.
Ferry sends the high ball inside 450. McKenna comes out, couldn't quite take it. It fell to Summerfield. Summerfield just spat out a handball. Gisborne player Thomas Wood was holding an opposing player, and that player will receive a free kick in defence for Golden Square. Up the wrong end of the ground to where they need to be though, Ronnie.
Haven't had a goal scored this quarter. We've travelled 9 minutes. The lead is 40 points for Gisborne. Lee's kick back towards the wing. Clean hands on it. Was Burke. Couldn't hold the mark. Kick forward for Golden Square by Lowry. Gained some good territory. Running onto it. Thrum. Inside the 50. Hooks it around the body. Unguarded. Goal Square. Guess what, Cameron? Across the face. It's a behind.
Yeah, if you could. Sam Brimsmead down there, Dale, was screaming, centre the ball, centre the ball.
And
he was streaming into an open goal.
And some great defensive work by Jenkins to protect him as well.
9-7-61 Gisborne. Golden Square inaccurate. 2-10-22. 9.5 into the third term.
So Gisborne play on, and that's gone straight back to Jake Thrum from the kick in. That is a really ordinary kick. That is a coach killer. And Clinton Young would not be happy with that at all. And Jake Thrum, the last attempt he had from pretty much the same blade of grass, he missed badly. He needs to go back and convert
Cameron.
this one.
He's had a cider, so he should be able to learn from that, and hopefully...
So he's had a cider. Now he needs to upgrade to a beer.
A cider?
If he can kick the goal.
I know English is not your strong suit, Cameron.
Jake Thrum comes in and he's missed it to the same side. In fact, actually, it swung back in the breeze. That looked like it was missing for all money. And it's come back in the breeze, and a big, big goal to Golden Square, and they keep themselves in the contest. 3-10-28 versus Gisborne, 9-7-61, 10.5 gone in the third quarter. Thanks to Holden Colorado at Poyser Holden.
So, Cam, I thought you called that spot on. It was going exactly the same side as his previous kick, and it just kept coming around. And so that's what Golden Square needed. Can this give them a bit of momentum?
Compton and Grabham, they've been at it most of the day. Up they go. Compton again, clean hands. Geary can kick it off the deck, gain about 20 metres out toward half forward on the outer side. Trying to kick it off the ground also was Vaz, but the Gisborne have got too many defenders and they run the ball around the outer wing. Touching it on the ground, Clinton Young off that beautiful left foot. He drives it long, but he's missed the target this time. John Coe has come across and taken the defensive mark.
John Coe has been absolutely superb across half-back, sends it across to Draper. Draper couldn't quite trap it, eventually he did. Dean Norris came through and made a good bump, but Draper's kick was partially smothered. It worked forward for Gisborne. It's taken, they'll send a high ball in. Scott Walsh, mark's been taken, and it is Jake Canolan diving in. And Pat McKenna coming to let Callum Draper know about how ordinary his kick was. And he's going to go back and line up for goal, Jake Canolan.
Well, those turnovers have hurt Golden Square today, and this is another one.
So
Canolan
Jake
going for his second.
Against the play, comes in and kicks on the left. It kicks truly, puts it through. And Gisborne have got goal number 10. 10-7-67, Golden Square 3-10-28. And that is 11 and a half into the third quarter. Thanks to Priority One Property, finals football on Bendigo's Fresh FM. We're doing it for our community.
Oh, and that really hurts, doesn't it, for Golden Square? They've had, of the 12-minute mark, they've had down their side of the ground for at least 10 minutes. And Gisborne get it up here and they get a goal out of it.
On the back of a defensive error. So,
yes.
yeah, I mean, good pressure by Gisborne around the ball carrier, forced the error and got the ball back inside.
2 goals for Jake Canolan now.
Been all right today, doing his bit. So the margin is, what's that, 39, Cameron?
Yes.
39 points. Tossed up. Let's see if they can get a bit of headway here. The square, Jack Geary, just a little toe poke out, cut off though. Crosby around the body for Gisborne, back toward the wing. Reading that really well was Eaton, got a handball. Draper, close to the boundary, pressured by Benaki, and the ball's over the line and out of bounds. True wing in front of the main grandstand here at the Q. Gisborne 10-7-67, Golden Square 3-10-28. 13 into the third, thanks to Aussie Disposals.
Ball will be thrown back into play. Can they get something going? Boundary umpire takes his time, throws the ball into play. Compston used his body nicely, it works forward. Donegan's got it for Golden Square, gives it to Jenkin. Jenkin throws it on the right boot. It spins out, diving in after it for Gisborne, able to take the mark. Is it Liam Spear? And the ball spills to ground and we'll have a boundary throw in 60 out from home.
Our sunshine didn't last long, Cameron, and the clouds are slowly reforming, unfortunately, so we might even get another drop here. Gardeners will be happy though, Dale.
Yes,
they rain on the garden.
And the farmers.
Yes, my word. Compston knocked it down. Chance here for Golden Square. Shelton surrounded. In fact, it was Jenkins surrounded and brought down in the tackle. They got it forward, Golden Square. Plenty of numbers for Gisborne across half back though. They might be able to tidy up here, although they're making heavy weather of it. The ball squirts out towards the boundary. Draper tries to go off the ground. Can't, as he's forced over the line, and we'll have a throw in. But they've got the ball where they want it. It's in their forward line, about 30 around from the square attacking goal, going to the Barnard Street end in this third quarter.
Ball will be thrown back into play. Compston wins it down. They work it forward. Clinton Young got it, break away from the tackle and sends it down the line, looking for Canolan, who's been busy, unable to get it, and John Coe will come and see it across the boundary line for a boundary throw in. John Coe's been absolutely magnificent for Golden Square.
They're just sort of holding the status quo, aren't they, at the moment, Gisborne? Golden Square, they just need to string a few together. That's been the issue for them today. Haven't been able to kick consecutive goals.
Can they do it is the question. They've had a couple of good chances. Jake Thrum's missed a couple of gettable goals. Eaton's got it, fires it inside forward 50. Here is that man on cue. Thrum, he ducks the tackle. He spins around onto the right. Can he get it? No. And he's kicked 3 points this quarter, Jake Thrum.
One goal.
One goal.
Yeah.
3-11-29 Golden Square. Gisborne 10-7-67. We've played 15 minutes in the third quarter. Thanks to Holden Colorado at Poyser Holden.
Tim Walsh will bring it in. Goes very short to Ferry in the back pocket. His little chip is okay. And control the ball, Gisborne, across their half-back line. It's on the outer side, swimming pool side of the ground. Long kick now up towards the wing. Compston at the back tried to make the big spoil. Golden Square have the numbers here. The handball comes out. They work it forward. Player pushes, he got boot to ball. might have already been out of play, I fancy. So the umpire will throw it in on the outer side between wing and half forward for Golden Square. Swimming pool side of the ground. 10-7-67 Gisborne. Golden Square 3-11-29. 16 into the third.
So as it has been all day, it's Grobham and Compson to go at it. One forward for Golden Square. Brimsmead came out, couldn't quite take it. Draper went hard at the footy. He couldn't quite take it though either. Ball spills to the ground, and a big pack of players form around it. And the umpire says, we'll ball it up, as Gisborne are just frantically calling for someone to drop back, because Jake Thrum's just snuck out his back, and if that next kick comes out of the pack, it would have landed to him. Luckily, someone went and picked him up. That player that did go back was Baker. Ball goes up in the ruck contest meanwhile. Goes towards the boundary line. It was able to be kept alive from both sets of players. But it didn't really go anywhere in terms of movement towards one side of goal. We'll get a ball up.
Had a long second quarter. I don't know. This one will be as long, Dale. We've only had one goal each.
And not a lot of ball ups either. But
So kicked off the ground. It's sort of stuck in that forward, half forward line for Golden Square. Did the umpire pay a free?
he signalled a push in the back. Yeah,
It will be a Golden Square ball. And the Square have it on that outer side boundary line. So they'll drive the ball deep inside 50. No mark. Plenty of Gisborne defenders at the back will tidy up here. The handball came out, and now the short kick. Mark is taken, kick forward. They've worked the ball to half forward. Chance here for Canolan. He's got Coe to beat though, and Coe's been good today, and he'll concede the rush behind.
And the crowd scream out deliberate, which...
Well, if you're being honest, I mean, come on. John Coe's socketed the ball under no pressure whatsoever.
Yeah, but we don't have that rule here.
No, and I don't like it anyway. The
that
defender
rule-
should be able to rush the ball through, I reckon. 10-8-68, 3-11-29. We're not going to argue about it.
Whatever
The ball comes back in play.
whatever happened to the NAB Cup where it was 3 points for a rush behind?
Yeah, well,
So
everybody
we'll
wants
go,
to reinvent the wheel, Dale, but I'm happy to keep it the way it is.
let's go fresh around the grounds. MCD finale at half time. Natty Bialaba a 9-6. Lexton 2 goals straight 12. In the A grade netball MCD finale, Carisbrook 41. Lead Harcourt 40.
Morecambe got the ball long towards half forward, but it's coming back. Gisborne get a kick back, and it will land with a quick kick forward. No mark to Canellan, who was well spoiled. Again, Coe gets a defensive kick, but it may come back as Gisborne share it, defensive side of the centre.
That they do. It bounces wide. They've got plenty of time here. Gisborne will go short. They'll find a way to Clinton Young. Young got it. That came from Sam Graham, who's got the headband on. Young gets it, fires a high ball inside forward 50 on the left. Can he get McKenna? Who's in taking Summerfield almost sharked it, couldn't quite fire it. It comes out. McKenna gets it, fires on goal. He's got goal number 5.
Benaki.
No, it was actually Brad Benaki that kicked the goal. He's got his second. So Benaki's got it, and Gisborne just increased that lead. 11-8-74 to Golden Square, 3-11-29. We've played 19 minutes, third quarter, full-on fresh footy, thanks to Priority One Property.
Well, I've been talking Benaki up, and I was about to say he hasn't done that much this quarter, and then he just pops up with a goal. But no, doesn't it always happen? Golden Square have had most of the play this quarter, and the few times Gisborne have got it down there, they've got goals out of it.
Yeah, disappointing for Golden Square. They've had a good first 10 minutes, but could only manage the one goal, as you heard Dale say, and Gisborne now banged on 2. So that margin is 45 points as we are getting to the latter stages of this third quarter. From the stoppage, he might have been held without it, Doolan. The umpire let it go. And in the end, he has picked out a free kick, but it's a high, and it will go to Gisborne. And underneath all that was Summerfield. He'll take the free as a handball. Got it off. Baker, long towards half forward. Big spoil there by the Golden Square defenders.
That was Will Lee.
Was it? He did that very nicely. Trying to gather the ball and get a handball out was Ryan Hartley. And he did get it off to a teammate who was tackled high. That was Drew Barrett, and he'll take the free kick for Golden Square.
Barrett gets to ground and then just plays on into the middle of the QEO, sends it down towards Trav Bed. He went to fly, but he slipped at the last second. Jenkin gets it. He sends it towards goal. It rolls, it rolls, it rolls. It's picked up by Thrum. He'll charge into an open goal, and Golden Square have got one. 2 goals, Jake Thrum, in the quarter. 4-11-35 now, Golden Square. They are not done with yet. 11-8-74 Gisborne, 20 minutes gone, third quarter.
It's looking very dangerous
We're
down
doing
there,
it for our
Jake Thrum.
community. Thanks to Holden, Colorado, at Boys Are Holden.
Yeah, he's looking very dangerous. Straight thrum down there. Couldn't miss that one, Cam.
No, well, he got his opponent he got behind his opponent, didn't he? Got goal side.
Yeah, Jack Baker just slipped over at the wrong moment then.
And he was on his off to the races, so well done by Thrum. He could have had probably, 3 or 4 this quarter. He's kicked 2, though. Tossed up. Compston, clean hand on it. He's been good today in the ruck for Golden Square. His teammate might have been tackled high. Trev Baird's in there, so is Doolan, who's held up with a footy for Gisborne. The umpire says, give it to me. So still in the middle of the ground. So it's Lynch doing the ruck work for Gisborne. Slept it wide. Chance for the Gisborne team to clear. Throwing it on the boot was Baker. Got it to half forward. They burrow in after it as it hit the deck. No one's getting out of that. Cameron will have a stoppage. True centre half forward for Gisborne, whose lead is 39 points at the 22-minute mark of the third quarter.
Ball goes up in the air. Compston wins it down. Donegan dived over the top of it. He was taken. Ball at the bottom of the pack. Isn't going anywhere. Umpire quick to wrap his arms and say we'll ball it up. Ball goes up in the air. Compston wins it down. Gisborne able to bustle away forward. Will Lees knocks it forward. Hartley got it. Cleared it out of the pack. Gisborne are going to get it back though. It comes off hands. Donegan slid in. Gave the handball straight to Summerfield. He turned around. Thought it was Christmas had come early. Found a teammate into the lead on the chest of Thomas Wood. Wood plays on quickly. Goes to Clinton Young. Oh, Young. He almost thought he could get it. It spills out the back. It's taken by Canolan. He snaps on the left foot. It might carry the line. It's touched right on the line and into the post. So that would have been a miracle goal. 11-9-75, plays 4-11-35 the margin, even 40 points, 22 minutes gone, third quarter, thanks to Priority One Property.
Bit of confusion there, wasn't there, between Canolan and Clinton Young, who's got the footy now after the kick in. He'll send it back deep for Gisborne. It'll land in the goal square, and it is a mark taken for Gisborne. And that was a good mark, almost at the back of the pack. And a shot at goal from only about 15 metres out. Who do you reckon's got that ball, Cameron?
I'm not sure.
Well, we'll find out when he turns around, but he's going to shoot at goal. He's deep in the pocket. He fires and puts it through. So another goal to Gisborne, and they have all the answers at the moment. He's not playing the game, that bloke, Cameron. Keep an eye on him, but it is a goal to Gisborne. They go to 12-9-81. Golden Square 4-11-35, 23 and a half into this third quarter, with thanks to Aussie Disposals and Dale. Every time Square get a goal, Gisborne are able to answer.
So is it Weaver, is it?
Daniel Weaver.
Daniel Weaver got the goal.
Come on, Daniel, turn around and give us a look at you. So well done to him. He made no mistake in front of goal.
So we'll go back into the middle of the ground. Grab him now back in the ruck. Compston won it down. Lowry's in there. Couldn't quite sock it through, and that's a little bit of a glue pot forming out there. Lowry got it. He's taken down to ground in a strong tackle. That tackler for Gisborne made a good tackle. So ball going up in the air. Donegan underneath the pack. Couldn't quite boss the way through. It was Geary. Spilling out. Picked up by Lowry. Fed the handball off. Hartley to Tracy. And Tracy will give the kick down towards centre half forward. It bounces awkwardly for Frum. Picked up by Gisborne. Now they're away to the races. With possession will be Jack Baker. Sends it towards centre half forward. Zach Shelton will dive in and take the defensive mark for the Bulldogs.
Had a good quarter, Baker. He's driven the ball out a few times. Shelton up towards the wing. Big Compston up in front. Can't hold the mark. Spoiled by Grabham. Ground level. Brimsmead got a hurried kick forward for Golden Square. Down the outer wing. Kicked off the ground forward for them by Barrett. They're inside 50, although now Gisborne come in, cut it off. The handball is shared, although the player lost his footing at the vital moment. The kick now back towards the wing. Gee, the ball spent a lot of time on that outer side of the ground today. No mark. Donegan to Tracy. Stood up in the tackle. Bell Bartels has got him, slung him to the ground. The umpire said, holding the ball. Free kick to Seb Bell Bartels. Kim, that's a bit of a mouthful, isn't it?
Yep. Terrific young player from Gisborne. I think he might have even been best on ground in the under-18s grand final last year, Seb Bell Bartels. Was certainly up there. Gisborne premiership side in the under-18s, but they won't be defending their title this year, Gisborne, after going down this morning to Kangaroo Flat in the under-18s as they send it wide. They've worked it forward. It comes out to Sam Graham. Graham sends it down the line now to James Ferry. Then Ferry goes even further down the line. Couldn't quite take the mark, but he was able to pick it up. That was Lynch. And Lynch sent one along the ground. Hartley was nice. Hartley's got it. He slipped over. Had to go back towards Grimsmead. Tried to step around his Gisborne opponent. Then gave it back to Hartley. Hartley ducked the tackle. Then just got it back to Grimsmead. In there was Humphrey. Couldn't quite get it. And happy to see it across the boundary line will be Thomas Wood.
Good pressure, Dale, by Gisborne.
Yeah, and it's good to see them playing right in front of our commentary box.
Thank God. So throw in to cross half forward for Gisborne. Rucks wrestle. Compton tried to knock it to the back. Player might have been held without it. Scott Walsh, he'll take the free. Had a pretty good game too. So he'll take this ball. Point of the centre square. He's got a player in short. Baker had a good quarter. He's still a kick and a half from goal for Gisborne. Late in the term, 27 minutes almost played. Baker's kick towards full forward, no mark. Chance for the square to bring it out. The handball came out from Will Lee. Released his teammate Baird. Oh, beautiful pickup. That was terrific bit of play for Gisborne. That was by Tim Walsh. It ends up back with him, the old 1-2. He has a flying shot from 50 and puts it through.
Great goal.
Timothy Walsh.
Tim Walsh.
Tim Welsh, what a terrific goal. That's better known as a defender, I would have thought. But when those defenders get a chance to kick a goal, Dale, they love it, don't they?
They do. And once again, Benaki was involved there. Come out to him. He got the hard ball, handballed it out to Tim Walsh, who put it through for a great goal.
So Gisborne have the game well in their keeping. 13-9-87, Golden Square 4-11-35. 27 and a half into the third quarter, thanks to Holden, Colorado at Poyser Holden.
Yeah, now it's just starting to really make it difficult. 42 points the lead. They'd need a lot to go their way from here. The Golden Square. But at least, well, no matter what happens, we'll be walking away saying the Bulldogs are into the prelim next week against Eagle Hawk, Ronnie.
Yes, well, that's true. But it's going to be the country Bulldogs, not the city Bulldogs, if you like.
Back in the middle of the ground, depends on where you're from, I guess, as it comes out to Jenkins. Jenkinson gives it to Geary. Geary towards the top of 50. Brimsmead let out, couldn't quite take the mark. Umpire letting things play on a little bit. Jack Geary gets it, but he's tackled straight away. Strong tackle there being laid by Trent Crosby. We'll have a ball up 50 metres out from home for the Gisborne Bulldogs.
So,
Well, the Golden Square Bulldogs, I
beautiful
should say.
tap down. Taken away, though, for Gisborne by Sam Graham. Clears it to the outer side wing. Golden Square with the numbers. I reckon it was Donegan who got a handball away.
Tracy.
Thank you. Bill's wide. Draper. Oh, they're making heavy weather of it. Player with the footy was Barrett, but he was held up in the tackle, and the umpire said you had Pryor. I'm going to penalise you. Free kick to Gisborne on the outer side at half-back.
Free kick indeed with Gisborne. Now they'll have to try and work it forward. It's a high ball down the line. Lee comes and punches the ball to ground. Hard up against the boundary line. They step across the boundary line and we'll have a boundary throw in directly opposite the centre circle on the poolside wing here. We look in the background. You said it wasn't going to be a very long quarter, Ronnie. We've nearly ticked over 30 minutes in the third quarter.
You
So
always
I
want to
don't know
start
what's
an argument, Cameron. I'll tell you what. One of these days.
Ball back now. Gisborne are able to merge out of the pack. They'll send it inside forward 50. Falls out the back. Can they try and take it? It comes out. Canolan, can he pick it up cleanly? Knocks it to Clinton Young. And as easy as you like it, Clinton Young says, you know what? I'm going to send the ball into the car park. And why not? He's put it through, and there's a bit of an argy-bargy going on in the goal square down here, Ronnie. He walked away. And
Yeah, I don't like all that stuff,
the
Cameron.
goal umpire's waving his flags. And I tell you what, if the fight got any closer, the goal umpire was going to whack him in the head with his flags. I don't know if you've seen that in an Adelaide game a few weeks back.
Yes,
a
I
player
did.
bringing the ball back, copped the flag in the head. I thought that was quite amusing. 14-9-93 Gisborne, 4-11-35 Golden Square.
That was
30 minutes ticked over, third quarter, thanks to Aussie Disposals.
Very easy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Goal in the end to Clinton Young.
Unfortunately, our finals have been really one-sided, which is disappointing. Gee, this is blowing right out now, Dale, and it's getting a bit ugly for
Oh, we had a
Golden
good match
Square.
last Sunday.
Yeah, that's true. From the stoppage, Gisborne control it. The handball went from Rogers towards Scott Walsh, who kicked it to half forward. They've got all the answers, Gisborne. They work it forward. Summerfield's on the end of the handball, went into the pocket, missed the intended target, and Canolan Crosby at the back can't control it. Throw in 35 around from the Gisborne attacking goal. Yeah, this weekend though it's been a bit of a one-sided turnout, hasn't it?
Under 18s was a good game this morning.
Yeah, but last night
I wasn't out of bed, Cameron.
Ball thrown back into play. Siren sounds to end the quarter. That is three-quarter time here. And in the Bendigo League Sunday Week 2 elimination final, Gisborne are in complete control. 14-9-93. Golden Square 4-11-35. That is three-quarter time. Bendigo Live. This is 2019 Finals football on Bendigo's Fresh FM. At times, Matt Compton doing the ruck work to the best of his ability, which has been quite competitive, Ronnie.
It's a 52-point lead at the final change in the first semi-final here at the QEO. Gisborne have been in control after 6 goals in the opening quarter. They really have just made, well, in racing parlance, every post a winner. Let's get this last quarter underway. Here's Cam Power to get us underway for this opening bounce of the last term.
So last term was more of a throw up than a bounce in the glue pot out there as it goes towards Gisborne. Walsh feeds out a handball. They're hungry for a big result and to put out a statement maybe this afternoon, Gisborne. They work it forward. Coming off will be Bell Bartels. Couldn't quite take it. Coe bent down. Got it to Tracy. Tracy then tries to go to Draper. Juggling the mark will be Cal Draper.
Getting dark here again, Cameron, too.
So Callum Draper centering ball over the back, and Gisborne player punched the ball into the head of his opponent. That puncher there was Rogers into the head of Grabham. Ball goes 20 metres up the ground. That might have actually hurt Josh Grabham as well. In fact, it was actually someone's down from Gisborne. That might have been the player that copped the footy in the back of the head. Either way, the umpire's got possession of the ball. We're going to have a ball up.
Compton and Grabham, they've battled most of the day. The ball knocked wide. Can they make something of it here? Gisborne, hands and knees, got a handball out. The player's covered in mud. You don't see that in footy these days too often. And that for Gisborne was Matty Goodyear. His teammate couldn't control it. It went over the boundary line, out of bounds. Throw-in on the wing, Cam.
Yeah, you don't usually see that here at the QEO either, but the middle is looking a little bit... Sorry, Compton's
that was
copped
a
the ball
falcon.
fair and square on the head. It sounded flush as well in our special effects mic as it comes off hands and out of bounds. We'll do it all again.
It didn't hurt him, so it's funny when it happens. If it hurts him, it's not funny, but it didn't hurt him.
Sometimes it's funnier if it does hurt him.
Oh, I don't think it is, Cameron.
Boundary umpire throws the ball back into play. This time it's one down off the forearm of Grabham. Ball comes out. Morecambe's got it. Feeds the handball wide towards Draper. Picks it up cleanly. Handballs it to himself to keep it alive. Then sockers it off the ground. Out of bounds on the full. And it'll be brought back into play by the Gisborne Bulldogs in the hands of Jack Baker.
So Baker, Gisborne will be just hoping they don't get any injuries, I would have thought. Dale, they're so far in front.
I think a couple of their stars will probably start to come off pretty soon.
So Baker down the line towards the wing. Huge pack. Grabham was up very high, couldn't hold the mark. Gisborne, all the numbers at ground level. The handball comes out to Summerfield, to Goodyear, back to Summerfield. Concedes ground, but puts it to Baker, who just chips it forward. The mark taken by Wood. He hands off. Gisborne go up towards the 50, but it's cut off. And Mitch Tracy takes the mark for the square at halfback.
Sends it wide and finds Brad Eaton. Eaton then goes even further down the line. Vaz will have to come from behind. Did well to knock the ball to ground. Gisborne have got the numbers. They'll turn over the handball, working it forward, going after it. It's picked up by Sam Graham, and Graham chips it down the line. Big contest, no one able to take the mark, spills to ground. Square work it forward. It's going to be sent down towards the top of 50. Not a lot of options or movement down in that Golden Square 4 line. Gisborne will rebound off defence through Tim Walsh.
Kicks it in the middle of the ground. Goodyear's in a bit of space, although coming in late. Bit of high contact, and they didn't appreciate it. John Coe just made him earn it a bit. What do you think about that one, Dale? Put your umpiring hat on.
Looks as if he's reported, Ron.
Yeah, he was pretty late, so maybe a little frustrated. He's had a good game, John Coe.
Is it a yellow card for Coe?
It was pretty late. The mark was taken by Goodyear, and then he was fouled.
John Coe is making his way off the ground, so that would suggest that it is a yellow card.
And
Yep, there it is, the yellow card going up now.
Just for good measure, the range returned.
So John Coe has got to make the trip off the ground.
Disappointing for him, Dale, because he's had a good game. He's been really good for the square.
Yeah, I reckon he's been
I'll
one
tell
of
you what,
the square's best.
back in the day, the Gisborne faith would be hanging over the fence giving it to John Coe, but they're obviously up the other end of the ground under shelter, I think, Ronnie.
They probably don't want to go out and get wet. Yeah, he doesn't look 100%. Matty Goodyear, he's being assisted by trainers.
But he's had a good year, though.
Got a bit of claret. It's a 50-metre penalty, so it'll be a shot at goal for Gisborne.
He's had a good year, though.
He's had a good year. Yeah, very funny, Cameron. You know what Wallace says? Leave the funny stuff to funny people. And I assume he means that's not you. So, who's going to take the kick? Casey Summerfield looks as though he'll have it.
Surely.
And he'll be at the top of the goal square.
As the rain tumbles down.
Yes, and it's not even July.
It's not July, no.
But Goodyear's not looking good, is he?
No,
Coming
he's
off the ground.
certainly got plenty of blood coming from his face. So we'll keep an eye on him as he comes off. Casey Summerfield will line up for goal. He kicked the goal in the opening quarter. And he's not too happy, Matty, but I don't think.
They're not even taking him off through the interchange. So
Yep, he's done for the day.
Yep.
Oh, well, should they call for the...
Got his nose split open by the look of that.
Yeah.
Nasty gash. Summerfield wanders in, slams it through. His second goal, and Gisborne go further ahead, 15-9, 99. Golden Square 4-11-35. It's out to a 64-point lead. 5 minutes into the final quarter, with thanks to Priority One Property.
So John Coe, yellow card, was the 4th minute. So he will be off for, I'd probably say, the rest of the game. Maybe might get back on with 2 or 3
might get
minutes
back
to go.
for 2 or 3 minutes, but
Would you bother?
yeah, would you bother?
In the pouring rain, I'd probably say, well, I think I'm done.
So the rain does come down, and it's not July as we mentioned before, but it's the heaviest it's been all day. Hopefully it stops for me to make my walk back to my car after the game as Draper feeds the handball out. Maybe I should call a taxi running.
It's not all about you, Cameron.
They
Call
work the
game.
ball forward, soccering the ball off the ground. It comes off and out of bounds, and we'll get it thrown back into play. That came off the boot of Tim Walsh. The wind's also picked up heavily as well. Look at all the rubbish and debris.
They're probably all the food wrappers
across
you've been
the
eating,
prayers. I put mine in the bin. I'm
Good
a
lad.
responsible eater as they work it forward.
Responsible eater.
Crosby has got the ball forward.
Tell you what.
It's all in the front passenger seat of my car. I'll tell you
Oh,
what, Ronnie.
God,
So-
don't tell us, Cameron. Too much information. Tossed up. Compton got it down. Summerfield at ground level where he's been all day. Handballed off. Put Crosby under a fair bit of pressure. They coughed it up. Golden Square got a kick up towards half forward. Few numbers around here for the square. The ball might end up with Thrum. No, his teammate elected to go. Well, I don't know whether he was trying to get it to him or not, but gee, the conditions are pretty ordinary at the minute. The rain is pouring down. The wind's blowing. The ball's in the middle of the ground. Crosby's trying to work it out for Gisborne. Feeds it back. Had a good game, Scott Walsh. Kicks it forward for Gisborne. Very wide. Does it stay in play? It does not. Out of bounds on the full. As soon as you give him a rat. Free kick. Golden Square on the outside.
I just love little John in the background. He's got the heater right on in front of him. He sat down, got comfy, and the door blew wide open. So we had to get up and fix that.
Yeah, it was a real gust of wind there, Cameron. I thought it might have been coming from you for a minute. We got kicked back into play for Golden Square on the outer side. Just straighten us up a bit, Dale.
Something
We're
something had to ignite the heater as the conditions. Well, I don't even know if I can see on the other side of the ground in this rain at the moment. Ball is coming
pouring.
down. You can hear it in our special effects mic.
Free kick to Golden Square.
Free kick's been given to Golden Square.
No, to Gisborne.
to Gisborne.
Come on, Dale.
Sorry.
Down the line they
How good's
go.
this bloke been today?
Casey Summerfield's kicked 2 goals and taken a nice mark there to go with it.
I reckon he'd love these conditions. He said this is just like home.
He sends the ball inside forward 50. No one able to fly and take the mark. It comes off hands. Gisborne have got possession. They work it forward. Out of bounds they are. Umpire, in fact, might have said it was a throw. Was it out of bounds or a free kick going?
No, it is a Golden Square free. by the
Free
look
kick
of
to
it.
Golden Square for a throw.
64 points is the lead for Gisborne. We are 8 minutes into this final quarter with the rain belting down at the queue. The ball up towards the wing. Trying to make his way through was Jenkins, lost the handle on it. Gisborne gather the footy, but there's plenty of players around the ball. And we've got a stoppage. Outer wing, where it's been a lot of the day today. Gee, that rain's heavy. The ball trying to be worked forward for Golden Square by Lowry. Umpire said, you took too long holding the ball. Now what's going on? And Grabham, who was a tackler, will take the free kick for Gisborne on the outer wing. Been serviceable today, Dale.
I played a really good game.
So Grabham, he'll drive it as long as he can in the pouring rain. It gets to the back of the pack. Canolan can run onto it. He might have been held without it. The umpire had a good look. Summerfield burst through. Got a handball off. Couldn't hit a teammate. Trying to go off the deck for Gisborne was Wood. The ball is across the face of goal. Golden Square got a kick off the ground out of defence, but it might come back. Feld was Graham. I think it was a trip. And as it's on here. Bit of argy-bargy. Canolan not happy at all.
Let's go fresh around the grounds, Ronnie.
Right, do that while it's a fight.
It's three-quarter time, and thanks to Norm Jenkin, who is over at Maryboro's Princess Park, he's saying that it is all clear, no rain to be seen. Natty Bialova leading the football 12-8-80, Lexington 7-1-43. And would you shut that door, Johnny? It's blowing in a nice cold breeze.
Sam Graham, Dale, was a trip, wasn't it?
Yes, clear trip. It was an accident, but it was a clear trip, had to be paid.
Canolan got a bit excited about it. So he's about 40 out, so really hard kick in these conditions. He's missed a lot. Out of bounds on the full. That rain is pouring. No, it's not hail. We'll go out and see, Cameron. Give us a weather report. Free kick to Golden Square in the back pocket. Gisborne lead by 64 points.
99 plays 35. 10 minutes gone. Final term. Golden Square are going to bring the ball in. High ball down the line. Who can take the mark? No one can. Baird's in there. It's worked forward by Donegan. Here's a chance for Jenkin.
Who's he going to kick it to?
He's got to do the whole thing himself.
He sockers it off the ground. It's the 100-metre sprint. It's Jenkin out in front, followed by Baker. Baker got back just in time to knock Jenkin to ground. And poor Alex Jenkin, the young fella, batted extremely hard. But the bigger bodies of Gisborne are able to work it out, and they work it up towards the wing. And chasing it over the boundary line will be Liam Spear. That was like the 100-metre sprint final. Usain Bolt got a bad start, but he was just coming to hunt him down at the last minute, and he got the job done. Won the gold medal.
10 and a half, almost 11 into the final quarter.
I don't reckon I've seen something like that on a footy field since Lewis Jetta and Cyril Rioli had a race in the grand final a few years ago.
64 points the lead for Gisborne as Baird gets the ball inside 50. Burke might have got a push. The umpire said no. Picked up by Baker. Handball's off. In fact, it was Baker to Baker. And now they're to the outer side and down the line. That's a pretty good kick, although the mark just not held at the last moment. And it's close to the boundary on the outer wing. That was Lynch underneath all that. And we'll have a throw in. True wing, outer side of the ground. Gisborne 15-9-99. Golden Square 4-11-35. And we're ticking up to the 12-minute mark of the last quarter. Thanks to Holden, Colorado. At Poyser Holden.
That rain is slowly easing up as Gisborne will work the ball inside forward 50. Punched away by Will Lee. Coming out, that'll be chasing it. Crosby. Ball spilling to ground. They work it towards the top of the goal square. In fact, it's going to fall a bit short from the top of the goal square. Free kick's been plucked out. It's going to go the way of Golden Square. The Golden Square have got it. Hard up against the boundary line. Defensive 50. High ball out of defence. Going up, unable to take the mark for Gisborne.
I thought he marked it, but he didn't, Benaki.
Ball hit the ground. Now they work it forward. Here's a chance for Gisborne. Baker's got it, can come back into the middle, eventually decides to do that. He's got Ryan Baker, Liam Baker to Ryan Baker. The Baker boys, I guess you could call them. So the Baker boys will send the ball down towards centre half forward, unable to take the mark, but he's had a good game nonetheless. Jake Canolan. Ball spills out, top of 50. Will Lee dives in for Golden Square. He's unable to take it. Ball hits the ground. Pack of players dive on top of it like a pack of hungry dogs. Will have a ball up.
What do you reckon, Dale?
Well, I've noticed Ethan Minns hasn't been out there for a while. I think that's him down there on the bench with the jacket on, isn't it? So did anyone see him go off?
I didn't see him much in the third term, so that might be an issue as Gisborne win it from the stoppage. Kick forward by Nick Doolan. Lands about 35 from goal. Gisborne player took it, immediately tackled. The umpire said, I'll have it. So it might have been Pat McKenna, I reckon, and we've got a stoppage about 40 out, maybe 35 from the Gisborne attacking goal.
Ball goes up in the air, coming down. Gisborne able to work it forward, off hands. No Mark Pakin. Hard up against the boundary line. They're happy to see it across Golden Square.
I'll tell you one thing. I hope we get better weather next week. It's been terrible today, and even yesterday when we were up at Calaval, it wasn't wet as this, but it was windy and cold. So it hasn't been the best weekend we could have had for finals footy, but nonetheless, Cameron,
you and your windy and cold.
You'll get windy and cold in a minute. Just call the footy.
Ball gets thrown back into play. Unable to get a clean possession, and we'll do it all again.
Straighten up, Cameron. What are you doing? Wallace will be listening, you know. He might have left, but he'll be listening.
Ball gets thrown up in the air. The sting in this contest is really lacking. Jenkins
you
got
reckon?
it. Tracy chasing hard. Jenkins in there for Golden Square. It comes off hands. Young puts his head over the footy, and it comes off hands, out of bounds. Boundary throw in, left-hand forward pocket, Gisborne Bulldogs.
Well,
which is the Barnard Street end of the ground.
It is indeed, and I guess when you're in a final like this and it's been over for a fair while, it's pretty tough on the players. You've got to go through the motions and try and at least put an effort in, but Golden Square, it is curtains for them this year. Gisborne, well, they'll go on and meet Eagle Hawk next week in what should be a terrific preliminary final. Tossed in, knocked the ground level. Gee, there's a massive pack around this. Umpire has a good look. It's hard on the umpires too, Dale, isn't it, when it's like this?
Oh, extremely hard, yeah. Just can't see what's happening.
And, of course, as you said earlier, so many players around the ball. Got it down Morecambe. To Morecambe, who got it off to a teammate who cleared the area for Golden Square, back out towards the wing. Knocked over the line. The boundary umpires are working double time as well. The ball's been out of bounds a lot in this quarter. We'll have a throw in just forward of the wing for Gisborne on the main scoreboard, or main grandstand side of the ground. The scoreboard, that's what I was trying to say. 64 points, Cameron, in favour of Gisborne.
Yeah, hasn't been a lot of play on this grandstand side today. Ball coming out, Gisborne handball it forward. Summerfield's got it. He gets it back. It's taken by, that is Daniel Weaver. He sends it high inside forward 50. It comes out the back. Clinton Young, soccer off the ground, goal. His second, and Clinton Young kicks another goal. And Gisborne continue on their merry way. They've got 100 points now, Ronnie. 16 goals, 9, 105. Golden Square, 411, 35. Sound like I'm calling bingo. 16 minutes gone in the last quarter, thanks to Priority One Property.
Another easy goal to Clinton Young. It's good to see him still on the ground at this
both
stage
of his
of the
goals
game.
have just been in the goal square, haven't they?
Yeah, yep. So from about 2 metres out, both of them.
Well, how's your mess, Cameron?
I'm going to say the margin is 75 points.
70, but you're
70
close.
points.
That's pretty good.
I couldn't quite see the scoreboard.
You're within QE. Don't make excuses. The ball's in the middle. Kicked off the ground for Golden Square. He's been all right today, Tim Walsh. He took that footy, kicked it back to the middle of the ground. No mark to Lynch. Square still battle after it. Player met front on, no free kick. Hacked forward for Gisborne. Golden Square defenders still trying their hardest to work the ball out. It's Donegan this time with the footy. He just drives it along the wing. Good work there by Scott Walsh, and he sees the ball over the line out of play. Throw in, true wing.
I'll tell you what, it'd be disappointing for the head honchos of the league to have both finals this weekend that have been big blowouts.
Yeah, it happens sometimes, but I think we'll get a closer contest next week.
Ball gets thrown back into play, we can only hope. Compton wins it down. Barrett's in there, he's unable to take it, he falls to ground. Summerfield again underneath the pack. Handball comes out, Spear puts a little soccer ball forward. Morecambe gets it, sells some candy, then sends it into the middle of the ground, but it is to absolutely nobody. And it's going to be a 3-on-1 run out. Unable to take possession of the ball was Thomas Wood. And Golden Square able to hold him up. The umpire crosses his arms, gives himself a cuddle and says we'll ball it up.
Yeah. 70 points. Gisborne's lead. Counting this one down as Morecambe again gets boot the ball to half forward. Thrum beaten to the punch here by Jack Baker. Although he lost his footing, Thrum's picked it up, goes to check side and kicks a goal.
The crowd goes wild.
Yes, Thrum's got his third. He's tried hard. 3 out of 5. He said it's a pretty good effort. So Golden Square move along to 5-11-41. They trail Gisborne 16-9-105. Thanks to Holden Colorado at Poyser Holden. We're 18 minutes into the last quarter, and Dale, he's tried hard, Jake Thrum.
Oh, he's played a really good game, being very dangerous up forward. But you couldn't tell from the crowd that was going for a goal, could you?
No, you
There was
could
just
not.
no atmosphere at all now.
You can only tell from the player who actually knew it was going to go through. So, well done to Jake Thrum. He's tried hard. He's kicked 3 out of their 5 goals. So certainly been their best forward.
Geary sockers it forward for Golden Square. And Jake Thrum spent the first half in defence as well. So that was one of the magnet moves that actually did work well for Golden Square. Geary, Grimsmead's got it. Gives it off. Jenkins battled hard in there for Golden Square. He's able to get it. Got the blue boots on. He sends it inside forward 50. Vaz unable to take the mark. And Golden Square just sheerly outworked by the number of Gisborne players around the ball. Canolan's got it. Sends it into the middle. Shelton gets it. Sends it back. Now it works forward. That was Morecambe. Morecambe fires at Goldwoods, but he ain't going to get the distance and a defensive mark. It'll be taken by James Ferry.
Pops it in short.
Ooh, short ball was dangerous.
Was kicked
Oh!
fresh airy by Tim Walsh.
I think he got his kneecap to it.
Spills out wide. Weaver. Handballed it back to Walsh, who just bangs it on the boot for Gisborne. Back to the middle of the ground, and Summerfield's away.
Summerfield is away in the middle of the ground. Gisborne, he goes short, finds a teammate, handballed it, got it back to Summerfield. That came from Doolan, the old one too. He goes short ball to Thomas Wood. Wood gets it, steams into an open goal, and wow, he's missed. He could have passed it to the top of the square to a teammate. He went for all the glory.
As you do.
As you do when you're 75 points. It's 75 points now. So I was just a little bit ahead of my time. 16-10, 106, place 5-11, 41. 20 minutes gone in the final quarter. Thanks to Holden, Colorado, at Poyser Holden.
So the square will bring it in, the spiral up the guts, as they say. Carries all and sundry. Burke, he'll run onto it. Couldn't control it. Knocked it across to a teammate. That was Jenkin. He put it on the boot up towards half forward. It bounces and skids. Now there's a whistle for a hold. And it's a square ball. Who's that out there, Cameron? Is it Trev Baird?
Yes.
Yep, it is Trev Baird, who's going to just pop it in short. Morecambe's ran hard, and he will take the shot at goal. 40 out, almost directly in front. That was a bit of passage of play from Golden Square, Dale.
Yeah, it was really good passage. Found Hamish Morecambe. Should be able to make the distance from here.
So, again, the clouds have pushed away. The sun's back out, but it's very wet. After that very heavy shower. Didn't quite strike it as good as he liked. It goes into the goal square. Can they manufacture a shot at goal? They won't. Ferry picks it up for Gisborne, hooks it around the body. Well-weighted kick.
Ooh.
Lynch, was he paid the mark or free kick? Neither. Off his chest, throw in, out of bounds. 45 around from the Golden Square goal.
That ball sounded very heavy when Hamish Morecambe kicked it then, didn't he?
Too. Yep.
Do you get a new ball at the end, at the half-time, quarter-time, or how does that work in what thing?
No, you don't.
So
it's not
same
fair.
ball's used for 4 quarters,
Yes,
unless it goes missing.
yes.
So Braden Vaz will work it inside forward 50, but the kick's turned over. Defensive mark will be taken by Gisborne. Plenty of balls go missing at Golden Square.
The defenders have been
as
good,
well,
haven't
right?
they, Gisborne? Like Ferry, the Baker, the two Bakers, they've always had good games.
Well, Ferry's completely shut Burke out, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Especially after quarter-time.
Yeah.
Ferry clears it out of defence. And
Great
he finds
kick.
a teammate. Now it's got possession of the ball is Ryan Baker.
Well, he's had a stack of it.
22
been
minutes
good.
gone in the final term. It's a big lead to Gisborne, 75 points in fact, I should say. Work it back. Ryan Baker just getting his stat possession counts up. He will then go long down the grounds, down the poolside wing here at the QEO. Oh, Fly, unable to take the mark. That was the big fella. Grab him. Spills to the back of the pack. Gisborne trying to work their way into the middle of the ground. Golden Square force a turnover. Then they force a turnover as well. Gisborne send it down. Flying up. Couldn't quite take the mark. That was Nick Doolan. Ball spills to ground. Flying kick forward. Defensive mark taken by Mitchell Tracy.
And I pop it in short. And Jack Geary, haven't caught him much in the second half. Goes across the ground. Finds a teammate at half back. So the square just work it out of defence up towards the swimming pool wing. Is that a mark? It is. Held on to by the Gisborne player coming out. He'll chip it in short. This bloke's had a good game too.
John Coe
Sam
must be
Graham.
due back on the ground soon.
Sam Graham, long ball to full forward for Gisborne. Off the pack, Canolan read the ball well, but he was immediately tackled. Lost the footy. Still there to be won. Tom Wood's there. He lays the tackle. He might have got his opponent high. The umpire let it go, and now it falls into a massive pack, and we'll have a stoppage, throw up, and it's only about 20 metres out from the Gisborne attacking goal.
Yeah, John Coe, do you reckon he'll come back on the ground, Ronnie?
I don't think I'd bother, but it's up to him. Probably Cameron.
Ball gets thrown back into play. Straight to the bottom of the pack. No one able to take it. Trying to spill away through for Golden Square. Tackling from Gisborne's been good today, Dale.
Oh, been excellent, first class.
And I reckon a lot of boys will be a bit sore after today. It's been a pretty sort of physical contest with the ball being so wet.
Well, the game's nearly over here at the QEO. Gisborne have worked it forward. So this result here sets up a big final next. It'll be a twilight game next Saturday, 3:20 between Gisborne and Gisborne and Eagle Hawk, as Braden Vaz tapped it forward to Callum Draper, fed the handball over the top to Geary, but he's got absolutely nobody inside forward 50, so he had to go a little short ball and it wasn't any effective at all. Spear feeds the handball to a teammate who just clears it out of defence. Working up the line, Hartley's handball to Lowry. Lowry thought about handballing, then just sends a kick inside forward 50. It's going to fall just short of inside 50 and out of bounds on the full. Dale, next Saturday, 3:20 twilight between Gisborne and Eagle Hawk. How do you see that game playing out?
I reckon it'll be a great game. It depends on how teams go with injuries, but should be a great game. Just going back before about the ball, getting a new ball. If you had one at the start of each half, that means a team could potentially have the dry ball for the win.
Yeah.
So if they do decide to do it, it would be a new ball every quarter.
That's fair. That's a fair way to do it. So the free kick is with Sam Graham of Gisborne. Drives it up towards the wing. Good hands.
Just do what they do with
Pat
a cricket
McKenna
ball.
well up the ground. Took it. His kick, absolute howler. Went straight to Ryan Hartley. His kick wasn't much better. Made it pretty hard for his teammate, who did well, Vaz. Got a handball off to Jack Geary. His handball is also okay. They work it back to Donegan, or is it Tracy? Might have been the latter, who went in short. And the mark is taken for Golden Square by Barrett.
Can you just bring a bag of footies out and tell them to pick the one that's closest to the condition of the ball? Is that how that would work? If the ball was to go missing, for example?
No, then you could get a dry one that way.
So the kick is long and deep for Golden Square by Barrett, but it goes off hands and through for a behind.
So like when a cricket ball goes out of shape, they'll bring out a box of balls and the umpire will pick the one closest to the condition. That doesn't happen if the ball goes missing?
No.
16-10, 106 Gisborne. They are going to progress into next week's preliminary final. They lead Golden Square 5-12-42. Red time, 26 gone, final quarter.
They've worked it up to true centre wing, far side of the ground, which is the pull side. No one's been able to take the mark. So that is a very exciting game. Next Saturday night, potentially got one side coming off a big 80-point victory, and the other side's going to be coming into the game, which will be Eagle Hawk next week off an 80-point loss to the Storm last night. So completely opposite in terms of the form lines heading into that game. Be very interesting to see who that plays out. 1-1 in the season are Gisborne and Eagle Hawk. Ball goes inside forward 50. Brimsmead couldn't quite take it. Spills out the back. And Thrum will see it across the boundary.
And they've beaten each other throughout the year.
Gisborne beat Eagle Hawk at Eagle Hawk, and then Eagle Hawk beat them, I think it was 2 or 3 rounds to go in the season, at Gisborne.
At Gisborne, yes.
And then
So at the QEO, a neutral venue.
Yep.
And Eagle Hawk beat Gisborne the first week, didn't they, of the finals?
No, they haven't played each other yet in the
haven't
finals. No.
Yeah, my bad.
Oh, no, they did.
Yeah,
Sorry.
they
They did. Sorry.
Yep.
Yeah, Eagle Hawk beat them last
Yeah.
weekend.
Yep.
That's right. And they play. Yeah, that's right. Sorry, Ronnie.
I'm thinking, okay.
Sorry.
James Ferry's limping there. Doesn't want to kick it back
So
in.
Eagle Hawk have got a 2-1 lead in meetings this year.
Yes, they do.
But Gisborne have been very good today and no doubt a real red-hot chance of making their way through to the grand final.
Down the line, mark's been taken for Gisborne on the far side of the ground. Are they able to work their way in board?
So James Ferry's coming off, limping.
And you'd hope that it's only minor soreness or a
Doesn't
bit
look like he's moving too bad.
of cramping, because he is a key player in terms of Gisborne's chances. But interesting, no one coming on the ground to replace him. So he just wanders off, and a couple of the coaches look at him and say, how you doing? And no one goes on to replace him. So they're going to finish the game.
No, he's got a smile on his face.
I don't think he's might have a bit of calf soreness or something, but I don't think it's too bad.
So the ball will be thrown in on the far side of the ground. Ticked over 28, just about 28 minutes into the last quarter. And the A-grade netball Eagle Hawk have defeated Gisborne 47-46. So that is a big win for Eagle Hawk, knocking off Gisborne, who have been the pace setter in netball all season. So Eagle Hawk go through to the grand final. They have another week to go, sorry.
Yes.
But Gisborne, they won't be there.
No. As Gisborne, got me saying Eagle Hawk now, went in the middle of the ground. The kick to half forward, no mark. Golden Square trying to work it out. Lowry dragged down on the tackle. He shuffled it over to a teammate who got a clearing kick, but it's going to come back. Ryan Baker has it, and he's had a stack of it. Goes in short. Mark taken for Gisborne by Crosby. We've got Young and Crosby. We need Stills and Nash. I've been working on that all day, Dale.
I don't get it.
No, I know you don't.
No, I do though.
Jack Baker, short back, inboard to Ryan Baker. So they're just running the clock down, Gisborne. They know the game's been over for quite some time, but the clock ticking down. taking the footy was Scott Walsh, upended in the tackle. Little Topo comes out towards Trev Baird on the wing for the Squares. Kicks a good one and Thrum marks.
Thrum's got it for Golden Square. He's been serviceable, kicked 3 goals. Comes in on the left foot, sends it towards the top of 50, towards Jenkin. It just carried to him, but it was touched off hands. He got it inside forward 50 just in time. It'll spill to the back of the pack. Here's a chance. Donegan tries to go goalward. Fed a handball to Burke. Burke fires one back to Thrum. Thrum works around on the left. It'll swing back in the breeze, but it'll be marked right on the line.
I'm just putting it up for 4, Cameron.
By Ryan Baker. Well, it was a good bit of fielding to stop the 4.
Yes.
Be kept
Right on the boundary.
inside the field of play.
So did you notice the goal umpire told him to go the other side of the post? Then he was about to play on through the goals, which would have been a point.
Good umpiring.
So are the goal umpires allowed to tell him to do that, or would
I don't
the
know.
goal umpire just
I think that's
just
common
call
sense.
it a point?
Yeah, I'd say that's common sense.
So if the score's a level in the grand final and the goal umpire doesn't say anything, that'll be classed as a point.
Oh, come on, Cameron. You're coming up with all these scenarios. Putting a bit of pressure on our man here.
I'm with Ron. I just think it was common sense.
Yeah. And that's what we want from our umpires. I think
Yeah.
if everybody understands that. You know, I think the umpires have been really good today. They've hardly missed a trick, I would have said that.
No, they've been done extremely well.
Tossed in, it's on the outer side. Almost siren time. He did well there, Compton. He took clean possession in the ruck, got it to half forward, but it's cut off. Gisborne defenders have been really good, and they'll clear it again. And guess who's got it? Clinton Young. And he'll take the mark defensive side of the broadcast wing.
That he will. Clinton Young's got it for Gisborne. And he's going to finish the game on the field, Dale, which will be something for Clinton Young. They
Something
work it
I
forward.
implied he might not at the start, didn't I?
So Thomas Wood on his right sends the ball down towards forward 50.
Great mark.
Strong mark.
Summerfield.
That's Casey Summerfield. What a game he's had. He's a superstar, Casey Summerfield. So Summerfield marks it. Siren sounds. And it will be a shot after the siren.
This is exciting, Cameron.
A shot after the siren. Summerfield comes in, doesn't get anywhere near the distance or the accuracy. The ball will just about make its way through the interchange, well, through the gate, out on... That's a long way from home, as the ambulances have made their way into the Gisborne change rooms as well. So possibly something...
Well, the only person I can't see is Ethan Minns.
Yeah, so interesting to see what the situation over there is for Gisborne. Full time here. Gisborne 16-10-106, Golden Square 5-13-43. See if you can keep an eye on it, Dale, because they're loading someone into the interchange. They got the paramedic car and the ambulance as well.
Yeah,
So
well,
see if you can spot
Ethan
what's
Minns
happening.
isn't on the ground, and they had the 3 on the interchange bench, and so he's the only one unaccounted for.
Well, it could be an extra one possibly, because we did see one of the players coming off the ground towards the end with some cramp didn't get replaced. So might be the extra player that possibly could be Ethan Minns. But let's hope it's all precautionary stuff over there. The full-time score, as I said, was 16-10-106 to Golden Square, 5-13-43. Eagle Hawk and Gisborne next Saturday at 3:20. Winner to play Strathfield, say, in the grand final. Run us through the goal.